Better leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Gandhi, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been golden when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Reviews not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
40.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits, yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeChain, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't done so, do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below. Then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We'd greatly appreciate it. It's a Friday. Let's get this room warmed up. While you're up there, drop us a GM, both in this Twitter space, the video space on X. We're going to keep calling it X and Twitter at the same time. We're over in the YouTube streets. We got Hizzy, Von Frunton, RDL over there. And I actually fired up the stream drop in the YouTube streets for the first time this morning, or at least I'm attempting to. It says, please wait 57 seconds. This is the second time it's made me wait. So if we can't get it live, we'll bring it over here to X. You would think by now I could just power through anything, Steve, but you need some more honey this morning. Your throat clear threw me off.
This is why I mute the mic, and sometimes I'm on mute, is that I got old and my throat just like sometimes is just gunky in the morning, which isn't great when you host a morning show.
It was like squirrel moment for me. My brain went to completely forgot what I was talking, even though I say the same exact thing for not quite 871 shows in a row, but you would think I would have this down on the back of my hand by now, but nevertheless, a clearing of the throat was a squirrel for me this morning. So GM, everyone, we'll run that back. Give us some love in the chats. The big tippers are over on the abstract streets. We're on my feed over there today. It says 869. It's actually show 871. I'll update that title here in a second. But as always, never any financial advice in the show. Crypto is risky. NFTs are risky. Meme coins are risky. Traditional stocks and equities are extremely risky and go to zero at a moment's notice in the midst of global tariff war. So please don't put any money in. You can't afford to lose in any markets. Know that they're all very volatile. Maybe more volatile now than we've experienced in our in our 871 shows. So please be safe out there. Join us for some fun, some information, some education along the way. And it's going to be a fun Friday. So let us know what you're looking at. Steve, I was looking for my Smokey the Bear shirt this morning, my hoodie, to celebrate the Steady Teddies continuing to create a little buzz over on ApeChain. And I think we might have to get Smokey, the founder of ApeChain, on here at some point. I'm going to reach out to the OG General and see if we can make that happen, because we've talked about exploring these other ecosystems. Probably would behoove us to explore them prior to them popping off. But nevertheless, I'm excited to. Actually, we are getting into it this morning. It's a cold open. I'm going to talk MLB. We'll make it 90 seconds or less, but I'm on a heater, man. You've heard me say many times, in DFS, in the world of fantasy, whether it's DFS or Battle Royales on Underdog, I go into those expecting to lose 80% of the time. And let's just say the 2025 season, Von Frutten's like, he didn't have me becoming an MLB maxi on his bingo card. It's not that I'm necessarily an MLB maxi, Steve. It's that I'm an expected value maxi. I chase positive expected value, and if I can get it in plus EV, I will fire. And if it proves to be right, I will fire again and again and again. And long story short, this is very atypical. Don't try this at home. Results not common. But I almost shipped another one. I've hit 100x 2 days in a row on MLB. I don't know if that probably doesn't come through very well, but we hit for $7 into 708 on Wednesday. Then yesterday we turned 7 into 900 on in the afternoon slate. So running about as pure as it gets in the MLB streets. And I do genuinely, I say that not joking. I genuinely think I found an edge in this new format where.
When you start saying you figured out Vegas, that's when it goes all wrong.
But it's not. Like, that's when I cracked DFS, it was a money printing machine. And then the masses caught up. Then everyone got on par, where the majority of the players had the edge was evaporated. Like, there's very little edge. Like, I play DFS NFL for entertainment. There's very little edge anymore. Do I have edge over a casual? Sure. But there's so much sharp money in DFS. The game has been solved. For all intents and purposes, the game is solved. It's from an expected value standpoint, it's the winners are DraftKings because they're taking their rake. In newer formats, it's just like IKB was a different format with their best ball. This Battle Royale, it's a newer format, and I'm not deep in the Major League Baseball streets, nothing even remotely close to NFL, but the same game theories apply. And knowing very little about it, I'm not even looking at projections, Steve. I'm not paying for any projections. I'm not paying for any of the tools. I'm simply applying game theory. And I don't want to say it's easy. It's not easy, but it's predictable. There is actual real positive expected value in a format that I can win. And so I'll keep firing until the field catches up. And I mean, this isn't like, oh, look at me, but like last night was the easiest. It was a 2-game slate. It was very easy. I said in the war room or in the fantasy sports chat, I said, simple strategy for tonight's 2-game slate. You either stack the Yankees or Arizona, and you grab a starting pitcher from the Milwaukee-Cincinnati game. I know I'm probably the only one who paid attention to the Milwaukee-Cincinnati game, but that was a 1-0 shutout. And the Yankees Arizona game was like 9-6. So it was like, if you did exactly that, you were probably in the money. Now you had to hit the stack perfect. You had to get the Brewer starting pitcher, not the Reds. But it was to actually ship the thing. But if you simply did that, you were in the money last night. And so far, why I think and we'll get off baseball here in a second, but why I think I found edge is because these drafts, it's a snake style draft. It's like a 6 or 14 draft. Most people will draft based off ADP. Baseball is not an ADP sport. Any given day, Aaron Judge can go 0 for 4. He's going to be a number one, usually a 1.01 pick, unless it's Ohtani's on the slate. Then he's maybe 1.02. He's always going to get picked high. He's usually the right pick. But let's say the Yankees are facing a stud pitcher, and their team implied total is 3 runs on the day. Don't touch the Yankees. Judge is still going to be a first round pick. You shouldn't be, because you're not going to stack the rest of the Yankees. And to win in baseball, you got to hit the right stacks. And right now, people aren't doing that. It's just as simple as don't draft off ADP. Just look at the Vegas totals, look at the implied lines, and stack the teams. Just trust Vegas. They're usually right. Stack the teams that are projected to score more runs, roster the pitchers and the teams that are expected to have the lowest totals. It's not always going to hit, but Vegas is directionally accurate. They've got a lot more writing than we do on a $7 ticket. And yeah, it's early. Things could change. It's a few days in, but so far we've printed every single day, and that's just very atypical for any sort of fantasy world.
Yeah, I don't get involved in daily fantasy and baseball. I don't even play fantasy baseball at all. Just not my jam. Too much. I mean, baseball
boring. Like, yeah, no fantasy baseball for me. Like, season-long fantasy baseball sounds like cruel and unusual punishment. But on the daily side, it's simple, fun, and profitable.
Yeah, it's not I don't know. That also would mean I'd have to potentially. I mean, I know you don't necessarily do this because you go to bed. But like, it would mean I'd have to watch baseball, which is not something that I want to spend time doing. So that's the
best
other
part is waking up in the morning, opening the app, and see how much you won.
Yeah.
Like, did I win last night? And then you realize that you won because of a Shohei Ohtani walk-off home run. You watch the highlights. It's I don't watch any live baseball, but I will. Actually, I'm probably going to start now that I'm getting the itch. But I won't watch. I'll just listen to it.
Yeah. The
old man listening to baseball on the radio.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, I've watched that home run like 1,000 times. It's electric. That's probably like one of the coolest parts. Like, people miss that. And we'll get into Web3 stuff. Give us a like, retweet, a comment in the room. Actually, important thing up top, I'm just going to call out. GM to everybody out there. Appreciate you. Like, retweet, bookmark the room. GM to the abstract doors. GM to everybody who is coming in on the X space. GM to everybody in the X video on YouTube. Up top, pinned, if you are on X, there are not a lot of entries. So I made the mistake. I almost didn't do this. Is I put this ENS contest out so people know ENS is one of our wonderful sponsors. I put this ENS contest out when X was sort of nerfing and down. Well, if you look up top, you can see that there's probably about, I don't know, less than 10 entries into this ENS thing. Go on ENS, set up a ENS using Para or for a friend and family member. Literally, you could win them $100 and you have a very high probability of doing it. Higher probability than winning fantasy baseball in DFS for sure. You could go and potentially enter that on your ENS, set up an ENS using Para. Heck, you could do one for yourself, give it to a friend and family member, but I'm giving away $100, my own money, not even from ENS. And the CEO of Para is going to give away $100. So there is like 4 or 5 entries. Those people are like a 50-50 shot right now. So I would go up top, enter an ENS to that is my recommendation. I will run the randomization, but I would like, retweet, comment on that and do it because it is pinned up top and it is pretty much free money at this point for somebody because $100 for me, $100 from the CEO of Para. Probably going to close that down today. May run it through the weekend if we don't get a lot going. But wanted to call that out just because I put it out right when X was basically down. So it didn't get quite the visibility that I think it probably could have. So want to do that for our sponsor. So give that a like or retweet, a comment. I'm dying to give someone $100. So somebody comment an ENS on there. Give yourself a solid shot, and I will pick some winners. But yeah, no, I'm not. I won't really watch baseball until the playoffs. I know that's probably too casual. I used to be a big sports fan who watched every single thing. I don't have the time anymore, and it's like NFL gives me an appointment television thing to do on Sunday if I want. College football more important to me on Saturday. Basketball I'll watch when I can, but like I've kind of fallen out of like I used to be like the sports guy. I was the sports director of the student TV station at Ohio State. I used to know all the players on every team and all the games and all those things and attend them. I had press passes to the Cavs and the Buckeyes and all these other things. I can't do it anymore. So kudos to you for getting deep in the baseball streets. Not my jam. I'll take the family to a game at some point, but other than that, probably out on that. I do, I know we're still, cold open, but not a ton to cover today. Von Frunten may have dropped his worst take of all time in the War Room. I don't know if you saw this. Probably Mayhem probably has the right take. First of all, I don't even know what Mario 4 is because I'm not some SNES noob, but he said Mario 4 is the best Mario, followed by Mario 2, which is a absolute
Mario 4.
Thank you. Like, you want to talk about like his worst take of all time? Mario 4 is his top. It's an SNES game, so that's just like right off the bat, it should be disqualified.
You could have asked me how many Marios there were. I would have said 3 before this conversation.
Well, yeah, no, but
that's how funny, off the radar Mario 4 is.
If you say Mario 4 is
like some indie game that someone did a derivative of Mario.
Like if you say Mario 4 is your top Mario, you don't know ball. That's what I say. But then Mario 2 is his second one. Mario 2 is a trash taco. That game, fine. You jump,
everyone knows it's the original Mario and Mario 3, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not even like you could debate those two, but Mario 2 is not in the conversation. Today I learned that Mario 4 existed. So yeah, it's 1 or 3, and I don't anything else you don't have any credibility.
I think Von Frunten would rank Rocky 5 as his top Rocky, followed by Hard Target starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, which is even a
Star
Rocky.
Wars. It's like one of the new ones that I haven't even watched yet.
Yeah, he's like his favorite are Rocky 5, one of the new ones that has like Michael B. Jordan. Then he likes Best of the Best 3.
Jar Jar Binks
and
the
Rocky
Star Wars character.
Yeah. No, that's Jar Jar Binks. Rocky episode is his favorite. Is his favorite Rocky actually? Jar Jar Binks in Star Wars is his favorite Rocky movie. It's such a bad. It's a very.
I literally did not even know there was a Mario 4, and I skipped the Super NES stage, so maybe that's why. I went Atari, Nintendo, and then I went the Sega Genesis route.
Yeah, well, because you're a grown up, but that's proper. That's a proper way to go. No, Mario 4, absolutely not. Mario 2, the worst of those. And to your point, if someone wants to tell me Mario 1's the best, great. If you want to tell me Mario 3 the best, great.
Did you see someone created a Mario Kart experience where they did the whole event out of it? They brought in a band to play the Mario Kart soundtrack. Did you see this?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's actually a thing that YouTubers do this. It's awesome. I'm a Mario 3 guy because I think it revolutionized how we play video games as a whole. Mario 1, you could argue with me, the original, and I'm not talking Super Mario.
I tell you what, man, I'm just going to put this out there into, I'm just going to speak this, I'm going to firm this into reality. I'm going to find my way into a midlife crisis and find myself living in a creator house playing video games 24/7. This is the new life goal.
Yeah, I'd love that, man. I've just ripped through
grinded MLB battle royales and playing video games. This is my new world.
Yeah, no,
I retired. I play video games and grind DFS.
I have ripped through Mario 1, Mario 2, the original Zelda. By the way, when we say Mario 1, also to specify, we are talking about Super Mario Brothers, not the original Mario game where you're kind of stomping on things underground in the pipes and it's repetitive. So you want to tell me Super Mario Brothers? Great. You want to tell me Mario 3? Great. If either of those, those can be your answers. If those aren't your answers, you are absolutely wrong on your favorite Mario. It's not even an opinion. You're not it's just a factual statement. Mario 3 revolutionized and changed the way games are played. Super Mario, Machiavelli with also Von Frunten getting absolutely eviscerated. Glad to have Cap and Steve on the same side. Thanks, Von Frunten. So Crypto Pain thinking for the parent trap of Von Frunten's hopefully intentionally bad take. We'll let him get in here in a second. Machiavelli, Super Mario Advanced 4 is the only Mario out of the 4 that's actual Super Mario Brothers. Just 3 mod. I have no idea what any of this means, actually, because again, as a grown-up who played Nintendo properly and then pushed SNES to the side because SNES had maybe 1 or 2 games that are worthwhile to play, but really not that many. It was an inferior system that they moved past quickly. So Sega Genesis wasn't a superior system. It brought us Sonic, which, by the way, effectively took cues from Mario 3 because that's what video games did going forward. Like, you talk about the way the Bored Apes set trends for NFTs and everybody copy-pasted them. That's what Mario 3 did. Is it set trends that were effectively copy-pasted and turned video games into the fever dream we know them as today. And now even the newer Marios, honestly, I would even say games like Mario Wonder are better than whatever the fuck Mario 4 is and Mario 2 because Mario Wonder and other ones are really, really good. Von Frunten must be seething, by the way, because we haven't brought him in.
So chat saying it's not called Mario 4, it's Super Mario World. Is that what you're referring to, Von Frunten?
Look, so the fact that you immediately acknowledge that you don't even know what Mario 4 is or Super Mario World, and then claim to have a strong opinion on the hierarchy of Marios, I'd rather have an argument with ChatGPT right now because.
Do you prefer Rocky 5, Von Frunten, over all the other Rockies? I need to ask that. That's an important thing because that's about the equivalent here. Do you prefer Rocky 5?
This wasn't an invitation, Steve. No, I don't need your little meatball jokes that you're going to make this morning just because you have the wrong opinion about video games, just because you guys missed a complete era of of Nintendo's history with the Super Nintendo. And don't tell me Mario 3 revolutionized how video games are played today, because Mario 2 was the first time that allowed you to play as both Toad and Princess, which is something that Nintendo took forward, where it expanded the player universe beyond Mario and Luigi for the next 30 years. So I'm not taking questions. I just came up here because even after I said I was going to be late to the show because I was playing Mario 3 with my son, you decided to take a cold open pot shot at me, summoning me up to stage here. So thank you very much. Good day, sir.
No, I mean, like I said, it's the Rocky. It's the Rocky 5 of Rockies. Would prefer. I mean, you can convince me on any of the Rockies. You want to go artistic in Rocky 1. You want to say Rocky 2 Redemption Story, Rocky 3 because it brought it into cartoony, ultimate cartoony America, and Rocky 4, Rocky 5, trash. But no, I just there. I think the thing I can sort of agree to disagree on is I like good quality video games personally, and I understand if that's not the case for everybody, so that's okay. But yeah, no, Mario 3 is I think Mario 3 is in the GOAT category of all time games. Although I did see a bigger trash take on the timeline when somebody was saying somebody was talking about best N64 games, and they had Zelda Majora's Mask over Ocarina of Time, which is an app. Von Frunton, give me your take on this, just to make sure. Let's see if we can find a common ground. Do you like Majora's Mask better than Ocarina of Time, or have you played either? I don't know at this point.
I will not claim to be a Zelda maxi. I am a Zelda OG Zelda 1 through and through. Link to the Past really just lost me at Zelda 2, and I kind of gave up on the franchise after that.
Oh man, so Von Frunton is a non-ball knower in video games. That's what we've decided this morning. I'm sorry, Ocarina of Time. I mean, that is another one of those games that on a pedestal changed the way open world games are largely played. Like Ocarina of Time. Like when you look at video game history. Like, it's so funny because I'm one who, we'll get Zard's here in a second because I know you have opinions as well. And by the way, I'm just giving Von Frunton a hard time. Obviously, he can have any opinion he wants, and we're having fun with it. He's a friend, a scholar, and a gentleman. But the way that, one of the things my wife will tell you is that I am an obsessive human being. Like when I knew sports, I could tell you the, third string running back on Ohio State who didn't even play, or fourth string running back. When I got into video games, I was the guy who never put the controller down with my friends, and they didn't like it, and I figured it out. I see it in my son now, and it sucks because he beats me in Mario Kart now because he's so good. Super Smash, actually, legit conversation that the other day. I was joking around with my son. He's getting clever. I was carrying the trash out to the trash, to the trash cans, and I said, "Hey, I'm carrying out your Super Smash skills," because I was carrying a trash bag. And my son looks me in the eyes and just goes, "You mean your Super Smash skills?" And he was dead right. Because he can kick my ass at it. And I was like, "You couldn't beat me in Super Smash." And I said, "Blindfolded." And my son looks up for a second. He's like, "I kind of want to try this." And I'm like, "Shit, I'm going to lose to my son. He's going to blindfold himself, play Super Smash." He already told me his strategy if he does it. He's 10. He's ready to do it. And he could, because my son does things like, I look at him and he's like, why did you create a board in Super Smash with a hill where you roll a rock down? And he's like, "I want to figure out which character is the fastest, and I don't trust the online rankings." And so he starts running every single character down a hill so he can figure out who's the fastest. He does things like this so he knows who the best players are, or who the best guys to play as for various situations and matchups are. So anyway, that's how I was with video games. So I can tell you what revolutionized, what changed the game up until a certain point.
And Von Frunton, if it makes you feel any better, you're getting shout outs in the war room, getting accolades, comparisons to T-Row. So congratulations this morning.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's how, look, it's people saying Mario 64. If you are under the age of, say, 35, I think that's a fair take, because you probably did. I can accept generational goats. We joke a little bit about the Jordan LeBron thing. It's a generational thing, right? If you talk to kids today, they'll say players in the NBA who are playing today will be like, "Oh, LeBron's a GOAT," because they grew up watching him. And it's like,
or Jokic.
What's that? Or Jokic, as your friends will say. But my point being, generationally, if you're younger, I can understand you saying Mario 64. Now, if you want to say Mario 64, again, actually, let me check my data before I say anything on this. But I think Mario 64 is a fair take if that's the way you want to go on Mario's potentially. But I think that if you're a purist, Mario 3 or Super Mario Brothers are going to be your top. Let's let Zards get in here. Zards, give us a take on this. Are you a Mario 4 guy?
Yeah, but I look, I love you guys, but you triggered me this morning because you're calling it Mario 4, and we need to give it the respect it's deserved, which is Super Mario World. Okay, let's not forget that is a seminal title in the Mario world. Okay, Super Mario World with the cape and Yoshi and all that, or Yoshi as you guys say over there. That is a seminal game, and we have to give it the respect it deserves. But I don't know if it was you or Steve that said it. Ocarina of Time. Absolutely the better game over Majora's Mask, and don't even get me started on Breath of the Wild. Lastly, I think it was Captain. Yeah, I feel you with the son situation, because I'm always playing with my son, and you know what? You teach them, they get to a certain level, and then the apprentice becomes the master, and then it's a long winding road downwards, unfortunately, to regain any kind of respect or composure amongst your kids. So yeah, I feel that. And then I think, was it Steve, you were saying about you had a dream of being able to just spend your twilight years playing video games?
No, that was Cap. That was Cap. Cap was on it.
That was you, Cap, I guess. That is 100% me. I love the idea of being surrounded by vintage games consoles from my childhood and adulthood, and just being able to play them all day long. So yeah, sharing some love for the 8-bit.
Yeah, there's probably a like content here, because I bet you, yeah, there's speedrunners, but there's probably content for someone who's entertaining and pretty good playing these old school video games. In fact, I found myself, so I have reached the depths of the internet in NFL highlights and college football highlights. I'm done. I've seen every single game, even the bad ones, every single highlight, all the top plays, college football, NFL, everything all year on my treadmill. Because I'll go to my treadmill and I try to find like 30, 40 minutes of highlights. I am now watching people play video games. I have found myself watching Madden and NCAA. And now there's like this specific guy, something reacts. I don't remember what his name is because I see him. I don't even hear it because I'm listening to music and watching the treadmill. His reactions are electric. Like, this guy, literally, I was watching him in a game. I saw him lose for the first time the other day. He threw a controller after getting a touchdown scored on him. The controller broke. And in that time between that and the next play, or he threw an interception for a touchdown or something, he had to open a brand new controller, which he had at the handy, put the batteries in it, fill it up, and get it going and reconnect it. So I'm now watching people play video games on the internet. So, oh, Paper Mario is not bad, Bunchu. Bunchu put Paper Mario in there. It's actually not a bad game. Obviously not on like the Pantheon, but my son and I played a little bit of Paper Mario and enjoyed it. I play all the Mario games with my son, frankly. Mario Maker, Mario Wonder, whatever the other one is where you can have Nabbit and all of them playing in it. Like, I forget which one that one's called, the recent ones. My son and I play all the video games. Actually, and I'll say this, and then we can actually get into like real stuff. If you want a game to play with your kids that's not too hard, that is challenging enough, though, that it can be as challenging as you want it to be, Mario Wonder is great. And every time you get something called a Wonder Seed in there, once you get to a certain level, it's like, it feels like an acid-induced dream where you're just... So Mario Wonder, do recommend, if people are looking for games to play with their kids, do not recommend Mario 4. So don't do that. It's like, let's stick to some of the classics here. Just go from 1, 2, and 3 and make your way over to the new ones. So Mario 64, again, that's an open world game. I get why people say it. It didn't catch on, I think, the same way that I think Ocarina of Time did, or maybe it did, but Ocarina of Time to me is a goated game. And Ocarina over Mask, people in the war room saying so. Anyway, that's yeah, that I think there's a lot of takes on there, but yeah, man, one of my surprising ones out of On Front this morning. But Cap, I don't have a lot on. I think maybe Mike Elf wants to give a video. So Mike Elf got a video take off because I'm guessing that's why he's coming up here, and then we'll get into things. I actually don't have a super long tick list because I really, really, really don't want to talk about tariffs again. But Mike Elf, go ahead and get in here, GM.
GM, I'm sorry. Are we slandering Super Mario World this morning?
We're slandering Super Mario 4. Now that we've been corrected and calling it.
Hold on. Super Mario 4. This is
Super Mario World is fine. I know it is Super Mario World. I never know it was called Super Mario 4. It's
because
fine.
It's not called Super Mario 4. It's never been called Super Mario.
That's why we were slandering it, because I thought it was a game I'd never heard of.
Yeah, that was Von Front saying it was for correction. I'll let you get taken, Mike. Basically, Von Frutton said Mario 4 was the best Mario. I had not heard of Mario 4. I have heard of Super Mario World, obviously, for SNES and seen what that is. So yes, and it's fine. It's fine. It is a perfectly average Mario game, but certainly not better than Mario. Certainly not better than Mario 3 or Super Mario Brothers.
Okay, I'm not gonna say that those aren't incredible. Obviously they are, but Super Mario World, Super Nintendo changed the game. I mean, yeah, I strongly disagree. But now that I'm up here on stage, I want to ask you, because we play Super Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in this house a lot, and my son plays with he's 8. He plays with the assist on, so he does not hit the sides. I call it cheating. He's really good in that version of 200cc. Can I just hear the Steve Bark household rules?
Yeah, your son needs to grow up. You're exactly right.
Thank you.
No, that's tough love. I'm not trying to knock your son, but I am with you on this one.
Right.
Where how old?
Incredibly hard. I mean, I'm terrible. I've been playing video games since I was 5. I am now 43. I'm terrible at 200cc.
How old's your son?
8 years old.
Okay, yeah, by that age, my son was off it. But yes, that's it. I mean, that's the move, is he needs to be off it. And he because my son is not only drifting, and I don't know if you do the drift all the way into the purple, basically. And your son,
I've been trying to do it. He can't. I mean, he might. You know what? He's way better at me than and all these other games already. Anyway, Mario Wonder, Odyssey, Breath, Tears, all that. He could probably do it. I think he's just likes the comfort of not hitting the sides.
By the way, Odyssey, another absolutely phenomenal game, better than Mario 4. But what you said about about that, it's and again, this is all joking aside, my son is obsessive like me. It's yeah, my son doesn't turn the sides on, doesn't turn the auto correct on. He drifts until he hits the knot in corners because he knows how to do it. And he uses every single shortcut, because if you have the side thing on, you can't use all the shortcuts. So you inherently there are 2 levels. If you have, and for people who don't know what we're talking about, if you turn on the ability to not run into the sides, then you lose the shortcuts where you can, if everyone remembers the unofficial one, in original Mario Kart on Rainbow Road, there was a place where you could jump off the edge and jump ahead in the track if you hit it perfectly and land. It was a high risk, high reward play. A lot of times you're either very good at it and you did it all the time and nobody wanted to play with that guy. I was that guy. Or you did it as a Hail Mary and you tried to hit it if you were down. In Mario Kart, the new Mario Kart, with all the different tracks and all the different Mario Kart variations in it, you can exit the track in various places intentionally because they've created those jumps and opportunities. So, yes, my son does not play with the sides on, and he does all the drifting.
It's time for that to happen. I got to jump down. Thanks for indulging me.
Thanks for jumping up. Steve, let's jump right into the market update, because I think this will take us into the next conversation, not about tariffs, but I changed the title. I think you should look at the charts, and maybe we just jump right at the market update, and then we can discuss it after. I think it's a major, potentially a major landmark moment for us.
All right, let me see. Now I did the old cap.
I did it to you.
It's market update time. Let's set the play. Powered by Awaken, the smart tax way. From crypto flips to DeFi stacks. They keep it clean. Got your back. Grab your coffee. Let's break it down. Daily update right now.
I like how Cap hit me with the he just hit me with an ain't no fun when the rabbits got the gun moment there, because I very much was not ready to hit the intro when he hit me with the let's jump into the market update on the hard pivot. But this is the daily market update powered by Awaken, the best way to handle your crypto taxes with integrations across top exchanges and blockchains, plus AI-powered transaction labeling. Awaken makes tax season easy. True story. I don't think he minds me saying this. Tebow used our code, texted me yesterday. Exact quote from Mr. Tebow, the mutant man himself. Awaken is so sick. He loves it. So sign up for Awaken. You got a couple weeks till tax season, not too late. If it's good enough for Tebow, who is the trader of traders, it should be good enough for absolutely anyone. If you don't talk about the ultimate pressure test, the Tebow test is the test for tax software. From NFTs to DeFi to meme coins, Awaken has you covered. Get $50 off with code COFFEE at awaken.tax. That's $50 off when you use code COFFEE at AWAKEN.TAX. Again, tax season coming up, and then you're going to want to be able to keep track of that moving forward. So even if you don't use it this tax season, you want it for next one, throw it your way, Cap.
I'm genuinely almost giddy containing my excitement, Steve. I was not checking the charts. I don't like, I'm attempting to just desensitize myself to the volatility right now because I'm not concerning myself with short-term price action. I pulled up the charts for the daily market update and I was actually floored. Like, I'm like, what is happening? Might we actually be breaking away from the correlation with TradFi markets? How is this possible? Bitcoin's up on the day. We're up, it's 0.23%, but I'll take a flat when there was, I don't know, over $2 trillion erased from TradFi markets yesterday. It was the worst single day in the traditional markets since 2020.
Cap, not to jump over you, but to build on that, China announced
what's happening, Steve?
China announced reciprocal tariffs to our reciprocal tariffs. You can't
put
triple
tariffs on
stamp double
Bitcoin.
stamp.
Is this our moment?
Yeah, no, they triple stamped to double stamp. They put reciprocal tariffs on reciprocal tariffs this morning, and Bitcoin had been down over the past 24, so I was thinking like, okay,
I think generally is the bottom in. Maybe it's not. Don't trade on this advice. I really don't know. I'm genuinely in shock right now. Bitcoin's holding strong. It's flat on the day, 82,676. ETH also holding strong, flat on the day, down 0.72%. It's just under 1,800. XRP up 2% on the day. BNB down 0.69. Solana up 0.28%. Doge up 2%. Tron up 2%. Like, what is going on? I'm dead serious. Like, did we just finally decouple? Was it the tariffs that decoupled crypto from TradFi markets? Like, I truly was expecting nearly double-digit red numbers this morning when I opened the charts. I don't even know. I don't know what to speak to this because it's very shocking to me in a good way. But do you think it's possible? Might we actually be decoupling?
I don't think so, but I'm hopeful. I mean, I don't want to like look at the outlier and say it, but I'm to your point. Like, I had checked the charts last night going into the morning, and then this morning I woke up. The first thing I saw is China announced reciprocal tariffs, and I'm like, oh no, here we go again. And then I got notifications from CNBC because I get those pop-ups and see that, NASDAQ futures down 3%, S&P futures down 3%, Dow futures down 3%. And I'm like, I don't even want to see what this is on the chart. So when you started getting like giddy about it, I'm like, wait a minute, did we decouple? And perhaps the most surprising thing, ETH is up of all things. ETH, Ethereum. Like, that is not.
It's bad when ETH is actually down 0.91%, and to us that's a win. Like, we're victory lapping ETH not being down double digits today. Well done, Ethereum Foundation.
It's funny watching the live update on your screen too, because a second ago on my screen ETH was up like 0.07, then it goes down on yours, and I'm like, that's the Ethereum we all know and love. Thank you for death taxes and Ethereum going to zero. So no, it's honestly like, this is extremely exciting for me too. This is not what I expected. I kid you not. Like, before the show, I made an effort not, because I'm not a price checker anyway. I'm not a person who trades on a daily basis. Like, if there are parabolic moves, I pay attention to be like, what caused this? But I'm not a big like price checker. I'm sort of like a dollar cost average, do your thing, own what you own, do your thing. So like, to me, Bitcoin holding, ETH holding, XRP up, Sol holding, Cardano holding, like all these flat numbers, man. Like, this is.
I gotta flip off the tab before Bitcoin goes red. But right now we're up on the day, so we'll take it.
Yeah, get out of there. Sneak out.
So and it's not exactly the same, but a similar story. Like, NFTs are like, yes, it's red, but not. They're outperforming stocks. I mean, they're outperforming the S&P. Like, this is odd. The steady teddies that I was mentioning earlier, up again, up to 124 Barra, up 13% on the day. This is new mint. It's over a 10x now. Like, as markets bleed, extreme volatility, we have multiple mints that are way up for mint price between steady teddies and good vibe clubs and all the ApeChain stuff. And there's all this stuff on Abstract. Like, it's, as I really think back to 2021 rather, excuse me, it's starting to remind me more and more of NFT season, where majors weren't ripping. In fact, they were chopped for probably 6 months or so. And during that time, like, NFTs distracted people. NFTs still had their moment. And like, the rest of the update here, again, steady teddy is leading the way in volume at 124 Bear, up 13%. Bored Apes gave up that 15 ETH price point, down 1.97% of the day. Pudgy's flat at 9.72. Mutant Apes down 3% to 2.37. Taproot Wizards 0.15 Bitcoin. Doodles 2.83 down 2% on the day. CryptoPunks down 4% to 40.99 ETH. Miladies down 2% to 2.8. I don't know how Sandbox is popping on here. Why are we seeing Sandbox volume? I have no idea. Maybe on Captains up on the day. Looks like they might have found their bottom. Maybe not. But
they crashed, didn't they? Didn't they crash?
I mean, they're down still, but they have on the 7-day, they are. Let me go to the pro view. On the 7-day, I lost them. There they are. They're down 12% still on the week, despite being up on the day. But again, maybe they did find bottom at 0.64, 0.65. I just NFTs. We can dive deep on any of these collections if you like. It's rare this happens. I'm at a loss of words looking at. I'm going to go back because it's still in the green. I'm at a loss of words looking at this. This is. I'm not even joking. I was bracing myself for being double-digit red this morning across the board.
Me too. I was expecting, honestly, this is probably a bad job out of me as a host, but I was very I'm just not even looking at these charts this morning. Like I said, I don't check day-to-day charts when they're up a tick and down a tick. This morning, I was actually, I kid you not, I was I'll wait for the market update. And you're let's get in the market update because I think it might be an exciting moment. I was wait a minute. And it's exciting times, man, to see that we are actually up on the day, even small percentages when stocks are about to get murdered. Now, I want to it was funny because Farouk.
By the way, it's not just the blood they experienced yesterday. My in real life friend group with a bunch of actual financial advisors and traders, the sky is falling. I'm just gonna read here's some of the comments this morning. Same markets as yesterday today, but it's spreading to more international stocks as China's tariff response. This market could get much worse to make smart decisions out there. Remember, it's not a stock market, but a market of stocks. Next one, pretty good time to DCA into your Roth IRA, your 401k, and pretty much anything that is not the US dollar, in my humble opinion. If you're doing that, if you're long, that is. If you're a trader, well, good luck. Just there is absolutely fear in the streets. And I do expect the TradFi markets to continue to bleed out today, to get much worse. I think it'll be another bad day, maybe as bad as yesterday. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Sentiment-wise, I expect things to be bloody again today. And dude, if we can go 2 days in a row and weather this storm, I'm trying to keep my excitement in check when markets bleed. But man, this is what we've said for so long. Crypto should be inverse. It should not correlate with traditional markets. It should be somewhat of a hedge against the inflation, the US dollar. It's really not been that way. We were all a lot of us bought into that. We believe that, and it's just basically traded in lockstep with everything macro. And man, if that actually shifts, I'm getting, this is way too much hopium, but we could see a major flight into crypto. That conversation, it's get in dollars, get stable up. If crypto holds or even it sees any sort of gains when stock market's melting down, we could see some serious capital rotated into crypto. No,
it's possible. Here's the thing I would say. Farouk had a tweet this morning where he's day 3 or something in Europe where my the crypto is up while I'm here and then it goes down once the burgers wake up. Burgers obviously being the United, which I thought was just calling the United States citizens the burgers is an all-time great. That was I lulled pretty hard. So I want to be cautious of I want to be cautious of what's going on there. But I am excited about the potential. It was not an expectation I had going into it for sure. I expected to see big down numbers this morning. So not seeing those is a very positive indicator to me. The other thing, I would put out there this morning is, temper expectations, but be aware of the trad markets as well. Cap's friend's advice actually isn't horrible.
I'm still bracing myself for a double-digit red day today in crypto, by the way. I'm not going to believe it yet. I'm cautiously optimistic that maybe this is a breakout moment. Lost you.
sorry, I'm not even cautiously optimistic. I am expecting, and again, I am good at like putting out expectations sometimes that are maybe low. I'm still thinking we're going to end up with a red day personally, just because I think as people wake up and they freak out and TradFi people get into the office on a Friday, those lazy fucks who come in at 9 a.m. or whatever it is, like, right. I mean, it's like, they're going to come in and they're going to be like, oh no, our markets are down. Sell your crypto, go into cash. We need more to buy.
Speaking later today too. So brace yourselves.
Who's that?
J-Pow's speaking later today too. Crypto Painter, let us know in the chat.
That's bullish, actually, potentially, I think.
Unemployment rate rises to 4.2% higher than expected.
I think if you're just talking markets, not the economy, because yesterday we talked about some concerns myself. We had some conversation in the war room about it as well.
10 years down below 4. And they're now, I'm hearing, this is not my area. Things I hear from other alleged experts is that potentially now 4 rate cuts this year are baked in.
That's what it is there. So I think it's Polymarket has a bet now that 4 rate cuts are, although they also say 50% plus chance of recession now, which is awesome.
This is kind of how I feel too. Again, I'm not a chart or I don't do TA, but this is like, it really does feel like we're teetering on this 83K level. I'm curious if Bunchu can get us his take on this, but if we lose 83K, I my thought was probably around 78 where it dips to as well. But I not my just my very, very limited knowledge on charting.
Yeah, they I feel like, again, I'm kind of stay the course. One thing about that graphic you pulled up, and again, I'm not like a hater on floor price or whatever. I did the math on Taproot Wizards to get back to mint price. And I think it's going to cost, if I did the math correctly at one point when I was looking at like what they are, roughly $1 million+ just to get back to mint price of Wizard buys, which is a decent amount of volume in buys, right? In those in Taproot Wizards. Is there a more down bad group at the moment? Like, again, nothing wrong with it. If you like your NFT, you know, I know a lot of people that was there PFP. I'm not trying to knock them or Udi and the team, but those 0.32 minters in particular, like, let alone the 0.2 minters, what you minted, like a 0.2 minter is down $4,000. I haven't even done the math on the 0.32 Dutch auction minters, but you know, if you're talking like 0.32, like, let's do the math on that very quickly. So if you bought for 0.32, and I know it's not exact Bitcoin prices today, but we'll just give it a rough estimate. 0.32 today is a $26,000 mint. 0.15 at the moment is $12,000. You are down $14,000 in a week on that. That's a tough spot. And at what point, I mean, do people capitulate? Is the pain going to be there? Are people sitting comfy? That's one that's really interesting to me. I actually was a believer that they're going to do something, like, not immediately after, but we're going to see a surprise in the next, you know, month, 2 months, 6 months. I don't know anything, but I think that was going to happen. But I think one of those down bad, like, mints that you're like, man, if you bought 0.32, $14,000 in a week.
Let me ask you this. I'm scanning the sales now. As I don't know, I've not been following the floor or sales closely, but as I look through this, I'm kind of surprised. They're basically all these sales are pretty much floor. Have we seen? I'm surprised we haven't seen some like grails go. Like, there's one at 0.24, 0.38 3 days ago, 0.75. That's a high one.
Space guy,
so like,
yeah.
An astronaut, space guy, spacesuit. Yeah, there's only 6 of them in the collection, and it goes for 0.75,
which is weird because spacesuit, even especially on apes, is the worst trade, right?
0.38. I mean, you remember I said I kind of expected a few of the grails to. I said multiple Bitcoins. That doesn't seem to be playing out.
What happened?
I don't know. I really expected. I expected a few high grail sales to then drive excitement momentum in the collection. There's one at 0.44.
That one's sick. That looks like the Matrix.
Yeah, it's a ghost. Like, it is. It's Matrix, ghost. Like, this is a really rare one. Like, I don't know if they call it a 1 of 1 or not, but it's clearly a, all the traits match, right? Like, it's rarity 26, and it goes for 0.44. That's shocking to me.
Well, I remember I said we were predicting the floor, and I was in the war room, and I said I think the floor is going to be like half a Bitcoin. And I remember Phonics being like, that would be pretty disappointing for this hype man. I think 0.75, potentially 1 if it gets a really good cook. So it was very fascinating to see. And my thing was,
is it Ordinals? Is Ordinals just lost the, like, okay, this actually
think so.
This is going to segue well into another conversation. I actually got not a tiff, but a little back and forth with Whale and Vo this morning. I don't know if you saw my post. If you haven't, don't look. What
do it? Pull it up. Let's talk it.
What did you see it?
I did. I know you shared it in the war room.
So you know the numbers, the percentage.
I don't remember the exact numbers.
Don't look then.
Yeah,
I'd like your guess, and then I'd like your chat guess as well. If you haven't seen this, what is the NFT market share percentage over the last week? And let's just for simple, keep things simple. Let's just talk. We don't have to look at Mintify. That's my preferred aggregator. But let's just look at Magic Eden, Blur, and OpenSea. What do you think the market share breaks down in the past week for NFTs?
For like Magic Eden for all NFTs, or for like, what are you asking specifically? Like what market share?
Yeah, percentage
specific to Magic Eden, right?
No, specific to all the NFT sales over the past week. How many of them took place on percentage that took place on OpenSea, percentage took place on Blur, percentage took place on Magic Eden?
Okay, so I'm not gonna like cheat. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion here because I do know you responded because it was low, right? So when you talk about that particular, because you're like, what percentage of NFT market sales? I'm like 100%. That's like the SEC going 500 in conference play. But when you go to the actual percentage sales, so I would say Blur is still probably going to be like 30% or something because they always have a high number. I bet, man, I'm so tempted to cheat because like I know that it was a lower number. So I would say I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to say, based on the fact that you had a low number, I'm going to say like 30% Blur. I'll say 40% Blur. 40%. I'm going to tell you what I think it is, and I'm going to tell you my honest opinion if you had asked me this without me knowing you had the tweet. So my guess now is like I'll go 40% Blur, 40% OpenSea, a 20% Magic Eden would be my guess based on knowing that you responded to the tweet. Only because I know OpenSea has been cooking lately, so I think like those would be my guess based on knowing it's exceptionally low for Magic Eden. My guess beforehand would have been like, 35% Magic Eden, 30% Blur, and whatever the rest, 35% OpenSea or something like that. So like something that's like a relatively even split because OpenSea's been cooking lately, so I feel like it's been more neck and neck.
So that would have been my similar. Actually, I probably would have pinned Magic Eden a little less. But do you think you just said 20% would be like tragically low? It's over the past week, it's 0.43%.
Is that just ETH? What is that? What is that pulled from?
To be fair, yes, I believe it is just ETH NFTs. So that was Vo's response. Is this just ETH because they're not heavy into Ethereum? That's not an unknown fact. We also stop worrying about vanity metrics that don't matter, such as market share. I don't understand that all. Market share is not a vanity metric. It's a pretty important metric across any competitive business, I think. That's not a vanity metric. I respectfully disagree there. But yeah,
it's a bad take.
Says check out we're more in the ballpark growing the pie for everyone, which other marketplaces are also focusing on. Check out NFT Pulse for more accurate data, including more than one chain. So this is chain users, not necessarily. I don't think this is NFT buyers. I need to go further because I pulled this from I think DeFi Llama, and the numbers you can see here, like OpenSea volume 47%, Blur 34%, Blur aggregator 8%, CryptoPunks 7%, Magic Eden 0.43%. So in their defense, Magic Eden's defense, if it is only ETH NFTs and that's not a focus of theirs, okay, that explains the just them getting crushed in the ETH NFT market. But that's kind of my point of like back to ordinals. I need you to talk like I think ETH NFTs have won. I don't like if you say, oh, go buy a Solana NFT. I think of Mad Lads, I think of Klanos. I think of all the ETH layer 2s. I think of like ApeChain and Abstract and now ApeChain. I don't know. Like and it's not just Taproot Wizards. Like they're actually, I think, probably holding up maybe some of the best of the ordinals. But where I'm going with this, I'm not landing the plane. But are ETH NFTs having their breakout moment to where, yes, that's where most people are going to trade NFTs? Am I way off on this?
I don't think ETH NFTs have won per se. I think OpenSea and Blur are going to continue to win that battle just because, like you said, Blur is built upon it and is people use it for high volume trading. OpenSea has a big push. Shout out Adam Hollander, friend, good friend, and now chief marketing officer over at OpenSea. It's funny, for reference, Adam said this in his tweet. Adam has been helping them a little bit for a while. I had known this behind the scenes. Obviously, wasn't going to say anything because I tried my best to be a walking NDA so that people could trust me unless otherwise. And, Adam has been helping them. I've noticed OpenSea getting significantly better. I think Devin needs some help. My interactions with Devin go ahead.
This is also the point, is OpenSea has gotten significantly better.
Way better.
They have active incentives. Their weak point has been their team. I couldn't name one OpenSea employee other than Devin, who I assume is off on an island somewhere.
Nate Chastain.
That would be my second. That would be the number 2 employee I would name, who's in jail somewhere. Now they fixed that. Now they have someone who's a degen. He's well respected by the community. He's apparently been already helping them and driving some of this positive change. Oh, by the way, they also have an active incentive, loyalty program. Like, this whole conversation started, I should go back to the original post here, it started with fees. Whale's post was, why is Magic Eden still charging a 2% marketplace fee on every NFT sale while other marketplaces like Blur at 0 and OpenSea at 0.5% basically got rid of them? And same thing with Mintify now. And by the way, you can buy Magic Eden NFTs on Mintify because they're an aggregator. Like, why would you pay marketplace fees when you don't have to anymore?
I think
there's no what is the explain to me what competitive advantage or incentives or rewards that Magic Eden has that I would pay. Let's say it's a CryptoPunk. Why in the world would someone go pay $2,000 when they could go pay 0 elsewhere?
I think again, this is just a general take. I think Magic Eden they want to be like, well, first of all, omni-channel marketplaces, they do a good job. Like, there's no doubt about that. Like, we'll get to the ordinals conversation. They do well with ordinals. They do well with abstract. They do well across the board. There's no questioning how well they do across the board with their multi-chain functionality. Makes it easy to use. They have good swaps where you can buy. I bought an abstract NFT with Sol the other day. Just use my Sol in my wallet, walk through, no problem. So they actually have some pretty good functionality and some pretty good tech. Like, I want to be very fair to them. The other thing I think they have going for them is I think they have a cult in a good way. I don't mean that in that's like a negative talk down about them. I think Magic Eden is the only marketplace that has a cult around it, which is there's a group of people who love Magic Eden. Their friends work there. They work to update products. Like, they have a group of people who they are trying to create like almost an Apple-like loyalty to be like, there is a pride in buying from Magic Eden and being part of that group. They have Telegram groups. They were the first on that I saw from any marketplace. Still, like the only one I know that has a widespread Telegram group. They have, group chats, multiple that they have on X. I think from a marketing perspective, they do a very good job driving attention. And for that, the idea is like, hey, we're driving attention. Maybe people won't notice the 2% fee type thing, right? Like, people aren't going to ask this question. Now, people like you and me might ask that question, but I think they've created a situation where it's like very similar to any NFT. Like, they're the only marketplace that I think has done a tremendous, like to give them some compliments. How many brands in Web3 like have that sort of cult following? And it's a marketplace. It's not even like it's like they have strategic partnerships. And so I think they've done a really good job in that sense. So I think that is why people are going there and doing it. Now, ETH volume, sure. Like, in fact, I don't even think about ETH NFTs on Magic Eden. I don't think Like I think Mintify, I think OpenSea, and I think Blur. But if I'm thinking about ordinals or I'm thinking about abstract, I'm probably checking the Magic Eden chart. So I think that's just to give the other side and be fair to them. I don't know.
So I'm really just thinking through this as we talk through it. eBrink says ordinals is probably the only thing making Magic Eden money, and that's kind of alarming. That's kind of tying my thoughts together in this, is that ordinals volume is waning. It's really one of the areas that Magic Eden has been done well on.
Wait, why do you say ordinals volume is? I mean, I know we've had an exceptional thing, but what's Taproot Wizard's secondary volume? I mean, it was insane. It was insane.
It's the only, like, the others are let me pull it up so I'm not speaking out of the side of my mouth here, but it's,
you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that in like a you know, haha. It's like in 7 days they've done 135 Bitcoin in volume, which I know is like they might be the exception. So to your point, you can pull it up and check, but like 135 Bitcoin in volume is a lot of volume.
Right. They've done 15 sales in the last day. No Monkeys have done 5. Bitcoin Puppets done 6. Quantum Cats have done 4. And whereas like we look at like the ETH NFTs that are relatively flat, you know, a few up, there's just this, they continue to bleed out. Like,
holy shit, Quantum Cats are down to a 0.039 floor on Bitcoin.
And people were buying them for 0.15 to 2 of them for 0.15 in some cases.
Yeah,
to get them in.
That's shocking. OMB doesn't surprise me. Puppets and like, wow, that is a anyway, keep going, Cap. Sorry.
This is just like I obviously I love Outer Lumen. The Taproot Wizard team seems great. It's awesome to have Udi on. This heat map looks very different than the ETH heat map right now. Something is going on with the market. I don't, it's not the best pulse I've ever had on trading. You can see there's some sales, like six Bitcoin Puppet sales going right now.
But remove Quantum Cats from the equation, because obviously there's a mint that happened there and everything. But like, yeah, to your point, Ordinal Maxi Biz down, like I'm looking at the 7 to 8%. Ordinal Maxi Biz down almost 14%. Bitcoin Puppets 15. Node Monks down 16. Bitmap down 2.5. Runestones, don't know why people still hold Runestones, down 15. Bitcoin Frogs down 17. It is just red. Pizza Ninjas down 11%. I love Pizza Ninjas, but down 11%. It might be a good time for me to get a Pizza Ninja. Man, these things are getting.
Node Monkeys down 16% in the week. Like, it's just like
Natcat's kind of a stable coin, usually down 25%. Jesus. All right.
And I know the markets have been crazy. I know things are shitty. It's just NFTs aren't that bad on ETH. They've actually, and some of them are up big on the last week. Bitcoin is actually outperforming ETH. You know, Bitcoin is holding strong. Like, I'm struggling reconciling the differences in the markets. I think is where I'm at, and maybe it's just a short-term time frame. Maybe it is more of a shift. But and please educate me, because I don't like. I love Klanos. I respect Mad Lads. I know they're building some stuff, but I can't think of like what's the next thing minting on Solana. I have no idea. I couldn't even guess like an anticipate. Actually, no, it's actually a Magic Eden mint I'm thinking of. So back to your point on partnerships, they did the thing with oh shoot, I just tweeted about it yesterday. The ASM brains, altered state machines. That's a and they did a partnership with Think, the 6079 AI guys. They're going to be doing a mint on Magic Eden in the near future. So I think, like, from your point of like partnerships and Launchpad,
yeah, their Launchpad is really good. Like, I need to get
that's another NFT, I think, right? It's like, so to me, and this is where I really am looking for someone to come up and tell me the other side, at least straw me on the other side, because I acknowledge and recognize.
I got you, Cap. I have a question. Do you remember that last week Udi just got $30 million from the Bitcoin ecosystem that literally just evaporated from all of the other collections?
So you think it was the Wizards?
100%. That's a huge catalyst to a lot of these other collections on Bitcoin going down.
That makes sense. With no marginal buyers, right? I think that's it. Without marginal buyers, when you bring 30 30 million out of the ecosystem, it's going to have an impact on all those collections without marginal buyers.
Right. And then you also have the fact that runes haven't really succeeded yet. In fact, Magic Eden took them off their homepage. So now where you used to have a rune section, it literally is just like all of the different chains. And then separately, you have the incentives on OpenSea for minting ETH NFTs. You don't really have any incentives right now for minting anything on Bitcoin. And I know that there's also some incentives to do things on, let's say, ApeChain. You had those Steady Teddies that did well yesterday, and you have a few collections on other chains that are doing solid. And gas fees also on ETH are pretty low, so it makes sense to do mainnet NFTs right now.
I'm going to jump around. I got to hit on that too. Appreciate you coming up, Emily. We'll give it right back to you, because I heard Bread say something earlier this morning, Steve, where talked about bringing stuff back to ETH mainnet. I need, like, almost as if like the L2s weren't the scaling solution. They need to do something to bring dApps back on mainnet, and that was confusing to me. I thought, like, well, not part of the scaling solution was all these L2s and to send that traffic elsewhere. But he was saying, they need to upgrade their, upgrade the tech so it works better and faster and do more stuff on mainnet. That was it was odd for me to hear. And I don't know, maybe it is just a big $30 million mint, and that's what's impacted the ecosystem at large.
I mean, it's a good take. That's a good take by Emlo. I mean, it is like, it's like if you like, we saw stuff dump into like the other side mint, for example, right? It's like things happen when people are moving cash around. So it's actually a really good take that, like, let's let it, like, similar to like, I know yesterday you're like, hey, let's see what happens with these tariffs. Like, and that, like, agreed on that part where I was like, let's see what happens. Like, not excited, but like, let's see what happens, before we call the end of it. Right. And I think with this, it's like, let's see what happens a month after Taproot Wizards mint, right? Are more people excited? Or, 2 months? And, it might be early on that, because I think, is the Ordinals ecosystem small and money's just being moved around? I don't know. I mean, it's a good take. I mean,
iconic is minting on Solana. I'm not familiar with that one. I'll check it out. But that's kind of like again, I do not think market share is a vanity metric. I think it's very important across almost all verticals that are competitive.
That's a weird move, calling it a vanity metric.
What's happening what's next on Solana? What's next on Ordinals? Obviously, there was a ton of anticipation for Taproot's Wizards. Oh, we've got Eternals coming up. So there's an Ordinals mint coming up. I really...
Steve, I got to jump in here.
Okay, Andy, go ahead.
Yeah, well, so thanks for having me up. I didn't want to jump in like Amlo did, but like if you were to look at the like Ordinals market before even like Taproot Wizards minted, it was still kind of like trending already like pretty down. And then I think what's happening now is kind of like an aftershock effect of kind of like, the aftermath of, the the down bad. But I think it's just like, you kind of nailed it on the head. Like, I think there is kind of a market shift and kind of it's maturing a little bit. And there's a huge difference between like owning an ordinal and owning like any other NFT, because you actually like custody the asset itself on a Satoshi. And so like once like the market kind of like, I feel like ordinals is a market of like 2017 NFTs on Ethereum, and it's going to take another cycle for them to really have like mainstream adoption. And then like another thing, like why did Taproot Wizards like not go up in value? Well, it took 2.5 years for them to mint. They were supposedly like an early inscription number. I think they started at 464, but no one really cares about early inscriptions. They didn't do it on rare Satoshis, and they didn't use parent-child provenance, which allows them to be in a considered a real collection. And then just to hit on like Magic Eden, I think they do a really good job. Like, they're a very forward-facing like company and brand, especially in Web3. They've incentivized their holders. They've actually dropped a coin. Like they rewarded people who use their platforms, who did feed them fees on runes. I think it's Ordinals is really kind of in its infancy and just like super early still. And I think artists are finding it. Still, people are still learning about the blockchain and the different intricacies there is, and about like the difference between like custodying like a real world asset versus not. At the end of the day, when you own an NFT on any other chain other than Bitcoin, you just own a certificate that says you own a token that has imagery like pointed to it from like IPFS mostly. On ordinals, it's immutable art, and you actually custody Satoshi. So once there is a maturation in the market, like I think you will see like, different like rare art come on Bitcoin, but it won't be something that's like traded like a meme coin as much. And for runes, it's still super early, but I would just say like they're just like meme coins on Solana, like they're just they'll pump and then they'll dump and then they'll some be like a culture coin like here or there, like like a dot, like a Pepe or Mog or whatever you want to like have on that side. So I just think it's still super early. Yeah, the Taproot Wizards was definitely like a huge liquidity suck out of the the whole kind of ecosystem, and people were chasing it, and like the next shiny object, but still at the same time, like we'll see how that goes long term. But yeah, thanks, Steve. I just wanted to add some context for those people on the outside looking into ordinals.
No, it's I think it hits on he kind of hits on a couple points I was going to hit, which are I do think it is early in runes, or I mean in ordinals. Runes, I the reason why I'm not super into runes is I don't really like meme coins. Runes I like actually a little better than meme coins for a few reasons, but we don't need to get deep into that world. I do, as far as like I don't know, as far as like ordinals goes, I think we are not even out of the dugout. We're not in the first inning. We're not even out of the dugouts. But and eBrink brings up a point here. Like for Wizards, there's so a large amount of Bitcoiners that think ordinals is spam on chain and don't want OP-Cat reactivated. Again, like I think it's I understand pure Bitcoiners who think it's spam on Bitcoin, but it's also like it's good for you because eventually there's not going to be a reason to mine Bitcoin anymore, and it's good to have things active on there. And it's good for your chain. It's good for the miners. Now, like, I think there's a lot of reasons why ordinals are very good for hardcore Bitcoiners. I think ordinals are going to continue to have their day. I think they have their place. I think it's important to discuss chain purpose. Like Ethereum, high quality, utility, a little bit slower. Layer 2s, gaming assets. Solana, I don't know. Bitcoin. Because like Solana is like a weird in-betweener where it's like Solana leaned so heavily into the shitcoin meta that I just feel like Solana like found themselves in this identity crisis where before meme coins really took flight, I think people were talking about Solana as like, this is a good place for NFTs and utility-based NFTs. It's better than ETH. But I think layer 2 solved that better. So I don't know. I think it's a chain
Solana
thing.
is your like influencer chain.
Yeah, it's a VC influencer chain. It's just not my... I don't play around a lot on Solana in general. Like I said, I didn't like the meme coin meta that much.
Hearing from Phonics in the chat that it's DeFi Dungeons is the hot Solana NFT right now. Yeah. And then also someone saying that they're missing DeGods. They're missing the you talked about, like you referenced.
Yeah,
like
where'd Frank go?
I mean, I'm kind of serious. You mentioned the cult following. Like, regardless of your opinions on Frank, he definitely could get attention, could garner attention. And I think back to the heydays of Solana, like there was a lot of excitement. There was it was very vibrant. You were hearing about stuff happening on Solana all the time. And I'm having to hunt and peck to find out any, and like, maybe my timeline is just really off and it's an echo chamber of other stuff. But I think
the Solana cult, honestly, like became more of a Magic Eden cult. That's where they traded. And I think part of it is like, you could actually make an argument just to bring it full circle here. As I think about it, Magic Eden basically helped drive Solana NFTs down because they were the Solana NFT marketplace. And by going multi-chain, by expanding their business properly, by the way, they've done a great job with the Launchpad and the other, products and things. I feel like I didn't put this together until we're talking about it now, but like, I'm in some group chats, some Telegram groups, things like that from like, Magic Eden folks. And like, a lot of them are those early Solana folks, the DeGods, the early up and coming group. Like, I honestly think like those early Solana, like people who got really excited have really settled in two places. One, just general Magic Eden, which means they're now multi-chain, or two, Pudgy Penguins. Like, I think the Pudgy Penguins are a lot of those people who are early Sol people, sort of that up and coming crowd that was coming through when like there were these expensive ETH things, and they were coming up with DeGods and other, soul-based NFTs. Like, I feel like a lot of those crossover, I don't know, am I off on this? I feel like a lot of the people from Solana days are on either they're like Magic Eden crew and they're Pudgy Penguin crew.
I guess. I don't know. I don't really think Solano, and I think Pudgy Penguins.
I think you don't think that the community that is around Pudgy Penguins is a lot of people that were like, we think about a Pudgy Penguin party you've been to, and think about the attendees. A lot of people who are in that sort of DeGod Soul crew. No, you don't see that?
I don't. I mean, I'm saying it's not. I think of like, yeah, I think of DeGods. I think of Utes. I think of Klanos. Jumping around a little bit, but I also saw someone talking about speaking of Utes, like, and we had one trying to get up on stage earlier. When did they become the scammer PFP? Did you realize that's happening now? It's like most of the scammers on the timeline are Utes. What's up with that?
No, I did not notice that.
Yeah,
I haven't seen. I mean, to be honest, I don't know that I've seen a Ute on my timeline.
The only ones I see now, I think, are like, we had someone. I'm assuming it was a scammer. I had one mutual follow as a new account, and looked like it was, timeline said me it was someone grifting or scamming or something. But yeah, it's
Wait, why are you talking about Frank Geekouts that way?
I don't think I've seen a Utes PFP on my timeline in like months. I'm sure I have, but like nothing comes to mind, which is crazy. That's just like I don't know. That's a whole nother discussion that I don't think is worth diving into. But like, I
think it's because it was a content creators PFP, and content creators just aren't using it right now.
And they didn't make it a content creators PFP. It was a content creators PFP for like 6 months, a year, and then it was like and then they switched chains and went to shit coins, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I think a lot of the Solana like NFT crew went to Magic Eden is my feeling, is they use Magic Eden because Magic Eden was a Soul NFT place, and then they expanded out. So I don't know. I don't see a lot of like Solana NFT culture outside of Claynosaurs. I don't know. Like, Claynosaurs make sense for what they're doing on Soul, but should they bridge? Does it make a difference?
Well, yeah, I think it does. I'm trying to lose my ETH bias when it comes to NFTs and JPEGs on chain. It feels to me like there is some real momentum in the ETH ecosystem, in the ETH layer 2s, that I'm not seeing on other chains. Like, and this is, I guess, yeah, the chain doesn't matter, but it seemingly is mattering. I don't know, Steve. I've talked myself on a pretzel this morning, but I genuinely was shocked to see that in the last week they've done less than 1% of the ETH NFT sales.
I don't get.
I don't understand. If the chain doesn't matter, you would want to be serving all the chains. It's especially the one where the most volume of trading takes place. No, like, what? Why is it? I'm asking genuine questions. I don't understand. Why are they not going after the ETH business? Why is it hard? Or is everyone that's trading ETH NFTs is it as simple as they're going to OpenSea and Blur because they have lower fees? Is it that simple?
Lower fees. Okay, so I think it's relatively that simple. If I was throwing it out there, I think lower fees. OpenSea's teased an airdrop. They've been doing better in marketing lately.
I'll give you that, but even Blur's running laps around Magic Eden right now.
Magic Eden already had their airdrop though. Like, that cow has been.
So is Blur. That's my point. Like, so has Blur. Magic Eden
Blur has lower fees.
Magic Eden has a better UI than Blur. So it's like we're helping like get to the end point. Like, I think it is fees, and it's like Magic market share is not a vanity metric. You want market share. It's how you grow your business. You're going to have to get more competitive on fees. That's my feedback. Or I think they're just going to continue to bleed out because you want all the. You just I don't know. I don't think you want to be.
What's the market cap of their coin right now? Is it still over $1 billion?
No way. Not even remotely close. I don't know what it is at like now. Like, is it 100 mil, 200 mil? I don't know. We'll look that up. But No, it was I got like decimated for selling it at like $7 billion or something because people were like, how do you fade the Magic Eden coin?
You want to guess?
I do, man, I was guessing, what did I say? 100, 200 mil. I'll split the difference, 150 mil.
Pretty close. 123 is the current.
Okay,
cap.
so close. Yeah.
Fully diluted value. So they're still. So I guess it's even more concerning though because they have a ton of tokens still to come. I'm guessing for users. So while they have had their TGE, circulating supply is only 133 million ME. Total supply is a billion ME. So their fully diluted value is still 923 million. You know, only a very small percentage, call it 13% of the supply is in circulation. Yeah, I don't know. Something just seems like the number was really shocking to me. That's it. Wasn't planning on going off on this tangent this morning. I was a little floored to see that they're basically not relevant as it relates to ETH NFTs anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting. It is a fascinating conversation as far as like what they go after, because the ETH NFT market is one that cooks and moves. I think OpenSea with the airdrop coming is going to win in that sense. I also think that, again, like, I don't know, Adam's a good hire. He knows what he's doing. I think he's going to do a good job there. So I think and I think he has been doing a good job. We've seen it. Like the things they've done with Good Vibes Club, the things that they've done, like
not just a good job. He gives them what you believe the edge of Magic Eden was in terms of their cult following. He like almost instantly gives them that. I'm not saying Adam Hollander has a cult following, but he has a pulse on the space and he can build that sort of following and attention because he gets the space. Like that is essentially a secret weapon. And what was a competitive advantage of them previously, they've lost it. And when they're fighting an uphill battle now because they've already lost the lion's share of the volume, it's just they're gonna have to do something differently. And I would imagine time to reduce some fees. I mean, that was Whale's initial post. It's like, guys, we're getting murdered on NFTs where my bags are down already. Can we reduce the fees till the next bull market at least?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about OpenSea's interesting in that, like, like I said, like Adam's a friend. You know, we had pizza with him when we were in Austin. Good dude. And I think with Adam, like, you're right. He has a pulse on the market on the day-to-day basis. By the way, great take in the war room. I think it was Depressive Hack said, like, market down so bad, Adam Hollander had to get a job because he's such a trader. And that he trades, not a traitor, a trader. And I thought that was funny, but like, and he bought it back as Old Ape, by the way, also hilarious. But no, I think about like
what was the number? I didn't see like what he sell. He basically bought it back lower than he sold it, right?
Far lower. I mean, he sold it above 20, I believe, and he bought it back in these conditions.
Back when ETH was like 4K.
Yeah. I mean, when ETH was like 2x what it is now, and then he murdered that trade. Like, I am very jealous. Especially because you get to say the goodbye tweet and then you get the welcome home tweet. So he also cooked. He's going to get some Twitter money for that. But no, man, I think like bringing someone like that in is really good because my take on Devin, I remember I had a tweet that cooked and he's probably so confused. Like, who's this idiot with the hair who's tweeting about me? Devin, like, I basically talked about how Devin gaslights the timeline and pretends like he has no idea what's going on. But I think he's really disconnected from the market and flighty about things. Like, I think he really is. I hate saying it, like somewhat tone deaf to certain things in the market. So you need somebody who's well connected to the market. I think he's really smart. I think he knows what he's doing. But like, I've seen him tweet on things like he was upset when he's like discouraged and disappointed that people are sharing false narratives about their token language. And he's like on a website that we released. I was like, okay, well, you lose the credibility there. But I think Adam's done a really good job there, at least with what I've seen seemingly since he's been on. I think it's a bullish hire. And I think them doing ETH market value makes a lot of sense. So I think we'll continue to see them cook up on that. And yeah, Magic Eden. I don't think Magic Eden's cooked. I think they have plenty of omni-chain products. They got a great launch pad. But I do wonder, does ETH volume come back after the OpenSea airdrop, or is this a canary in the coal mine as far as NFT volume goes? I don't know the answer, but I don't know what they're banking on. We'll have to see. Moving forward. That said, let's do this. I have completely redone, based on our conversation this morning, my More You Know live. So got some numbers, did get a little AI assistance on this one, but I'm going to go to More You Know, brought to you by our friends over at ENS.
The more you know, brought to you by ENS.
It's time for The More You Know, brought to you by ENS, inspired by Cap's daily market update by Awaken Tax this morning. Let's talk about those rare moments when Bitcoin surged while the stock market lagged. One prime example, in early 2019, January 1st of that year, Bitcoin was priced at $3,700, but by June 26th had skyrocketed to $13,000, a massive increase of 273%. During that same period, the S&P 500 also saw gains, but at a much slower pace, approximately 2,500 points to 2,900 points, about 17%. This contrasts how Bitcoin, despite often being correlated with TradFi, can experience significant independent price movements. While Bitcoin and the S&P 500 saw positive returns on the whole of 2019, the S&P 500 gaining about 29%, Bitcoin rose 87%. That early year divergence is a reminder Bitcoin unique volatility and potentially outsized gain. Keep in mind that these instances are relatively rare, and the relationship between Bitcoin and the stock market can change depending on macroeconomic conditions and investor sentiment. Still, fascinating to see how crypto sometimes dances to its own beat, even when the traditional market rhythm stays steady. And that is ENS, The More You Know, brought to you by ENS, not just anchoring your name across Web3, but anchoring it across the internet. It's your identity, simple, memorable, unmistakably yours. Security, interoperability, and ease of use. Go to ens.domains to learn more and secure your ENS domain. And again, if you scroll over and pin to the top, opportunity to win $100, just scroll 3 in there. You'll see that I have an ENS giveaway that I'm doing. Again, only 19 comments on that so far. I'm giving away 100. The CEO of Para is giving away $100. You can win $200 if you just comment on that with an ENS. So I would go on there, comment your ENS, set one up through Para, help get people signed up, make it work. We'll do that maybe today, maybe over the weekend. So we shall see. But yeah, crypto markets continuing to move along in that way. Cap, one other thing to be worth hitting on this morning, just because I think we hit on, some marketplace stuff. I think we exhausted that. We've talked a little bit of tariffs very lightly, but more about the markets related to them as they go. This FreshKix thing, you follow this?
I have.
It's a total nightmare.
Yeah, I followed it. I don't know if it's a total nightmare. I actually think there's some good to come out of it. We can get into it. I wasn't close to it, but I've seen some conversation on the timeline. I've got a little info. And one thing I do, it's funny because I responded to one of, I think it was James.
Can you give the TLDR? Because some of us might not know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's not a fully, I'm sure there's pieces of the story I'm missing, but the TLDR is FreshKix minted recently. Pre-reveal, there was some mythics, like the ultra rares that were swept or bought by someone who apparently, I don't know how they got the metadata, but it was like some of the.
So they said CryptoKicks did release a statement. So the TLDR, and then I'll let you keep cooking, Cap, is
take it. You're here to take it. I've only got everything like second, third party. I'll pull up the post as you talk through it. But yeah, I'm not. All I know is this is some metadata sniping shenanigans that were similar to like 2021, and why I think it's not necessarily a train wreck or the worst thing is because of how the community responded and called out questionable or bad actors. And I'm not singling any out names because I don't know all the details, but I think it's sometimes bad things have to happen to create culture and bring the community together. And one of two ways, there's like two paths forward. Either okay, it's scamming, grifting season, or the good actors call out the bad actors and that shit ends and they go elsewhere for that stuff. So I don't think it's the worst thing, but yeah, go ahead and give the full TLDR and I'll go pull up the post.
Yeah, so FreshKix mints on ApeChain. Excited mint. We talked about it a little bit on here. Really cool. We like the mechanics and how it works. There's going to be some opportunities to mint them and get a actual kick. You're going to be able to get a discount using them. So like actual custom shoes. There's other ones, holding the one in general will help you get a discount. And then they can all potentially track fandom in the future. So they have all these different utilities. They're going to be brought into Dashbow, meaning you're going to be able to wear them on your ape and other things. So I think that part of it was a really cool little innovation that as you are starting to work with your ape and things like Dashbow, you're able to actually see your kicks in, on the timeline being used. It's a little bit of personalization, a little bit of that identity and ownership. So cool concept. They worked with James Lympho Dow, because they were making his custom shoes at the time to help out with the project. He advised them. He also happened to have the metadata. He shared it with his team. Apparently, he's admitted to this, at least according to their post. They waited to put out a post. They had the information, but they basically, got access to the metadata, shared it with his team, and they in turn sniped and stole basically from people who should have had a fair chance to mint to make sure they got all the rares. This was brought in during the reveal when people were starting to get, notice that there was some fishy, funny business going on. And he basically admitted it and has made excuses not to return them. But TLDR is, and you have a Diablito DM up there, Cap, as well. I don't know what that is doing for you, but Diablito's a homie, good stuff. But I hate the DM auto being up on the share screen.
That's a flaw. That's a UI flaw.
Yeah, like when I load up X, it'll like kick open my DMs, and I'm like, why? So
I'll open it though because Diablito's a solid guy. I don't think he says anything bad. So
yeah, you can keep it open. Diablito, he's probably just talking all sorts of shit and saying how correct I am about the Mario games. But Garga at one point, I don't see it as a top comment anymore, so I don't know if it got removed or I don't see. Oh yeah, Gargo said, "Really sorry guys that you're dealing with this. Sounds like the mints are now returned. Let me know if I can help in any way." So Garga's out there trying to help. A lot of people out there trying to like toss their name in the hat. But again, TLDR worked with an actor who effectively used the metadata for bad. And look, I mean, this is like sort of the light crime season stuff that I think, to your point, Cap, would normally just be like ho-hum, like somebody sniped metadata. I remember Secret Superlative Society back in the day, the team had a weird distribution of rares based on certain minting and allow list wallets, which seemed like it wasn't fairly randomized, unprovably randomized on chain. And people would just be like, oh, well, whatever, I made money, I'm out. I think in this instance, it's good that we're having a conversation that, like, I think the larger conversation here is stuff. I know that crypto is the Wild West, but stuff happens in crypto that we would never accept in other areas of society. If this sort of thing happened where a contractor shared sensitive information and it was used for an impropriety within a primary sale or secondary sale of any good or service outside of crypto, it's crime. And it's like, it would be brought up and it would go to court. And like, obviously you don't do that here in crypto, and that's not the world we live in as much, but it's like, yeah, man, like it's good. They should be calling this out. This is an issue and we should be solving for this. So I think to your point, it is good that it's being called out. It's good that it's happening. And it's like, I don't know why.
Here's the thing. If it doesn't get called out and it continues on, it's the beginning of the end for ApeChain. The community is the secret sauce of ApeChain, and if people start extracting and grifting from that community, it's over. They had to call it. So much respect to those who did. I know it takes. Excuse me. And I did not see the whole thing go down in real time. I just told Maria, who I respect her opinion. She said the FreshKix thing, the entire incident call out, could have been handled differently. There's two sides to every story too. I agree. I actually don't know exactly how it was called out. I think it is important that if unethical stuff takes place or questionable activity takes place, it should be addressed. It should be called out. And if not, it can lead to more of that stuff happening and then becomes an attack vector for the grifters.
Yeah. And like, look, I mean, again, there's who knows who says every story, like you said. Like, I'm going based on the official FreshKix account, what I had seen on the timeline. And so who knows if James is innocent. I apologize based on that. I am like literally what I'm doing right now is I am reporting what is being written from FreshKix. So I will tell you what FreshKix side of the story is. I've not seen James's side. If people have that, Diablito says the bad actor knew what he was doing. So he's a believer in that. And I know Diablito is really tight in the ApeChain streets, so I trust that opinion. But like my take on it is like, yeah, I mean, like you can't have like you said, the secret sauce is community. And what I love about ApeChain is it's incredibly wholesome in the sense that it is the place to launch where you know that things go well. There's good communities. People hop on. It's the only set of spaces where It's the only set of spaces where if you go to an ApeChain space, you will see a gazillion different PFPs, and yet it is still a community space. Like we have a, chain agnostic space. We have a PFP agnostic space. Like people come on Coffee with Captain, you're going to see, every type of PFP on stage, normal faces, all those things. Same with Modern Market shows like that. ApeChain runs ApeChain spaces, and you just see a variety of PFPs on there, and people just jam it out. And I will say, like, I think some people get turned off that ApeChain, I think, like, every other week has, like, a big bickering space where people are going to be yelling at each other.
Dude, it's the best, like, what other chain has a daily space that pulls over 100 every single day? And it's a vibrant conversation. I don't attend every one, but the ones I pop in, there's always something going on. There's a lot of people excited. Like, that's something I think a lot of chains would love to have, and it's all community driven. Like it's again, shout out to all those that are doing. I know there's several individuals, but I really do think those ApeChain trenches spaces are extremely impactful for momentum and community sentiment and sorting stuff like this out when things do go awry.
What a miss, by the way, by like, obviously we're powered by Mintify, or we are not powered by Mintify. Mintify is our marketplace of choice. We work as advisors there, right? I mean, that's our, something we do as a crew. You're an investor. But I feel like what a miss by you think of ApeChain and how people have ApeChain top of mind because spaces are happening every day with hundreds of people and they're building community. Like, why is there not, like, I'm surprised if you're a marketplace that there's no, like, OpenSea or Magic Eden or whoever, like, don't literally take title sponsor in spaces like ours or Modern Market or, Farouk or, the Nifty folks. Like, why is nobody taking that lead position to be like, you want to be top of mind? Like Magic Eden, it feels like low-hanging fruit to be like, yeah, we're powering this whole thing and we want Magic Eden in the title front and center, because then when people shop, they'll immediately think about us. I'm not sure I understand why they wouldn't make a strategic investment there, why marketplaces, chains, etc. don't make that strategic investment. And I'm not trying to just like pump up like our type of space, but like I think about how I shop oftentimes. I will shop things with the discount codes from the shows I listen to, from Pardon My Take, from Joe Rogan, from Lex Friedman, from Chris Williamson. Like, I shop based on that because they recommend a product. They tend to do a really good job with the products they recommend. And like, I'm surprised that ApeChain is the only place that has effectively, and I know it's community run, like a daily space. Like, why do more marketplace and chains not have this, Cap?
It's a big miss. It's the lowest hanging fruit. I think it's because it's ego driven. I don't think they think they don't need to. They think they're bigger than the space, and they'd rather go spend millions of dollars on a party and not support creators in the space because it creates more buzz and excitement. I also I'm really close to going off on a rant because I'm catching myself in real time. I probably shouldn't say this in a recorded space, but
you said you got subtweeted.
No one's paying me to talk bad about Magic Eden. I'm simply pointing out facts. I've invested in Mintify, who's an aggregator, so I can buy things that are listed on Magic Eden on Mintify. Mintify doesn't pay us for this show. We have some tokens. We had a sponsorship years ago, but it has nothing to do with any affiliation with Mintify. It's simply I was commenting on the original post. Why is Magic Eden charging 2%? It's a genuine question. And then I followed it up with 0.47% market share, which is factual data of ETH NFTs. I'm not fudding anyone and certainly not getting paid to FUD anyone. But the funniest thing to me is I do know other marketplaces have recruited and paid others to basically vampire attack advisors and get them to FUD other projects, other chains. And I have never in my life been paid to FUD a chain or a project. It's just not something I would do. I'm not Cook. Go get your bag, Cook. It's just not me. It's funny to me that it's like
people get paid to FUD.
Oh yeah. And I'm apparently getting blamed that I get paid to FUD.
Well, here's my problem with the tweet that is out there, assuming it's subtweeting you. Could be a general one, whatever. But I'm guessing it's a subtweet at you. My problem with the tweet, we'll just call it what it is, because Vo put out, like, I'll just put it out. So Cap mentioned the tweet this morning where he responded about, who uses Magic Eden. Vo says sort of number one marketplace. Cap says like low percentage on the ETH sales. Vo says, responds. I think it's a fine conversation. I actually think it's a healthy conversation. Then there is a tweet that says, it's Vo. By the way, I really like Vo. I think Liz is, she's good at her job.
I like her. I like Jack. I just know what I don't like on the team. I literally don't not like anyone.
So I just want to be clear that this is not FUD. Then we put it up front because this
are we like so if we share on-chain data, that's fudding another project?
So
or,
she said
that's accusing me of getting paid to fund another project. That's wild.
Yeah, so she said, and obviously she's got, she's a sort of a marketing lead at Magic Eden. She says KOLs constantly fudding certain projects, tokens, or dApps are more than often than not paid by competitors. Red markets bring out the worst in people. The reason why, if this is, this may not just be a subtweet of you, it may just be coincidental in timing, and you're the straw that broke the camel's back, right? Like you're involved, but it's not just about you. The reason why I actually have a problem with this tweet in particular, if it is about you, is that one, you were saying data and facts. Two, it's not FUD. It's just a perspective. And three, like, I don't know, like, we're very upfront about where we get paid. Like, I was Magic Eden ambassador for a period of time. Every time I talked about Magic Eden, even tweeted on the timeline, I'd say I was an ambassador. When we talk about Mintify, we talk about that. So, like, I would say, like, saying you're getting, like, paid effectively to FUD and you're, well, one, it's not FUD, but, like, acting like it's like, oh, well, you're being paid, like, stay head on a swivel. It's like, I don't know, if I come out and I'm like, hey, I'm a Mintify advisor and, here's an issue with Magic Eden, like, I'm telling you that. Like, it's just, I'm telling you, like, it's very different when somebody FUDs something and then you end up finding they have an ulterior motive. But I think we're probably about as transparent in the space as you get about where we're paid, who we're paid by, who our sponsors are, when they're not. And by the way, equal opportunity. We sometimes talk about our own sponsors and our own, folks. Also, like, the other thing about it is we talked about it on this space. I was pretty complimentary of Magic Eden, despite the fact that we are Mintify advisors and it is our marketplace choice. Like, I talked about their marketplace. I talked about what they've done to expand to other chains. So in that instance, I just don't think it's necessarily a fair critique if it's specifically about you. Might be about other stuff, and there might just be a general sentiment. So I wouldn't get baited into it, but I think, yeah, showing on-chain data and having a discussion about ETH NFTs and then bringing it on this show and having me be entirely complimentary of Magic Eden, I would not qualify that as FUD personally. But again, it might not be specifically about you. You might have been like, there's a good chance you're the straw that broke the camel's back, because the other thing, and then I know we have a hand here so we'll go to KZ in a second. I think we
haven't seen an answer to the question. Like, it's refusing to answer the question, taking shots directly or indirectly, passive aggressively at those who are questioning, and no one's answer. Like, it's all started out with the question: why is Magic Eden charging 2% when everyone else is at 0.5 or 0? Oh, because we're just better than everyone. We're going to charge more.
She's probably actually shit talking Whale, not you, by the way. Sorry, go ahead. Like, that's probably who she's shit talking, Whale, not you.
How is that FUD? It's just facts. It's not FUD. It's reality. Like, you're charging 4x the some it's 0, but at minimum you're charging 4x the amount of fees. You're losing market share. This is getting questioned. Like, why are you charging 4x the fees? And instead of answering it, like, this is our strategy, this is why we provide this extra value, we're going to take shots passive aggressively at people who asked the question.
Payne's out there. Payne's trying to get to the bottom of this. Is this a subtweet or a general sentiment? I love Payne just jumping in with the, it's like, well, look at it. It's adorable little small. He's just asking me if it's a subtweet or a general sentiment. I like Payne out there in the streets, letting him know. I'm gonna give a little bit of grace here and some defense on this. Number one, I don't know who she's referring to, so I'm not gonna make an assumption there. I know that you had the spat this morning. Might have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
It wasn't a spat. Like, that's like,
it's a discussion. I know, but like, let me get to my second part, which I think plays into that, it not being even a spat. Number two, I do understand she is in a role where she probably constantly is getting, shit from people who are Magic Eden sucks at this. What's going on at this? People who have different bags, different things going nuts. So she's in a position where Sometimes I will get people coming at me and it boils over. So it's also probably a boil over position if I had to guess also. So I want to be fair in that sense that I have been there and I have said things where I'm like, you know what? I probably like could think twice on that one. Again, maybe she's proud of it and she's good with it, but I think she's in a position where she probably catches a lot of strays. And so there's probably like a boiling sentiment and she just tossed it out there. I've definitely been there and I recognize that she's, what she might be maybe feeling this morning. So I also think that not that like, I just want to be fair and put that out there. But to your point, Whale said data. I actually thought it was a fine discussion. Like that's what I enjoy about the timeline when she brought back data to your point and you guys have a discussion.
Thanks for educating me. Yeah. I didn't realize that Magic Eden was just going all in on all NFTs except for ETH NFTs. That's okay. Like it helped me brought to my educated me more that yes, while they've lost nearly all market share on ETH NFTs, they're surviving because they're apparently doing better than everyone else on Solana and ordinals and layer 2. So good. That's was helpful information. But I'll be right back. I got to go send out a tweet. I've got drafted here. KOLs constantly fudding certain Spaces hosts who speak about their protocol because their boyfriends are competitor Spaces host.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, chap. That would
this is a joke.
Banger.
It's a joke.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Would be members though if I did.
I mean, you want to start a war, that will start a war. Like you want to.
It's a joke. Please don't clip it. It's a joke. I like teasing.
That would be it's like a get rich Nick special. That's the type of thing he would be way into.
This Major League Baseball's brought out a whole new arc for me, Steve.
Yeah. You don't know. I think it's probably more even at Whale, which again, Whale brought up data and asked the question, but I get it. Maybe there's people who are not paid, but if you're included in this, it's like, dude, we're very transparent about it. And I sat here glazing Magic Eden and the products they built following the discussion. So I think it's pretty well established. I was giving Jack praise yesterday on a space. I'm honest about how I feel. It doesn't matter. I will competitors to products. If you partner and sponsor with us, yes, we're going to talk about you. Yes, we're going to show your product. Yes, we're going to do our best to do it. But it doesn't mean that if I'm when we were sponsored by ApeChain, we didn't not talk about abstract. We talk about what's going on in the market. It's our job. If we didn't, we wouldn't be a good show. We would just be an infomercial. And that's never the goal. And that's not how we got here to the point where we have thousands of people listening every single day. And we're not going to change our way moving forward. Casey, you've been waiting for a hot minute. Go ahead and get in here, GM. Casey going once. Casey going twice. Sold. We're going back to the other conversation. Casey, let us know if you get back. Give us a wave. I see your hand up there. But yeah, no, that was an interesting one. I did not have you potentially getting subtweeted on my bingo card this morning.
Delayed.
Oh, Casey, you in here?
Sorry if I'm delayed. Can you hear me?
You're good. Go ahead.
We got you if you're there.
I think there's technical difficulties. Can you guys hear him?
No, I can't hear him at all. Do you hear him, Steve?
No, I don't hear Casey. I don't hear Casey.
I need a lap.
Yeah, take a lap. We got you back. But yeah, you're a massive delay.
It's awesome that the community also uses our random vernacular now. He's like, I got to take a lap. That's Cap's go-to. He's like, take a lap, come back, we'll get it. So Casey's going to take a lap. Hopefully we're in good shape here. The mesh, I love it. Steve appointed as American's UN ambassador, very diplomatic. Well done, mate. It's true though. It's just that's how I don't know. That's how I roll. I'm very probably empathetic to a point to human beings, but yeah, it's probably just feeling it this morning. But I don't think. Hopefully, it's not referring to you specifically. But yeah, it's I also think it's yeah, I don't know. There's a whole different conversation to be had there about that's it's hard. It's hard. When you're in a position where you're catching strays a lot, it's hard not to fire off on the timeline. I have had to hold my tongue a lot on things where I realize there's no upside to doing that sort of thing. So I'm not sure who they're going after there, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I would love to clarify. The other thing is I don't know. I also say when you're in that sort of thing, just name names.
Well, it's also the assumption that someone is getting paid to to just talk factually about someone's platform, that to me is a yellow/red flag. I also I'm just not going to say anymore, but I also have other insight that there's a reason that those assumptions might be being made. Like, others have done that. I can't speak for Steve. I'm pretty sure he has never accepted payment to FUD another protocol or platform. I certainly never have, and nor would I ever.
Yeah.
But I know others have.
Yeah, it's just interesting too, because to your point, like, well, yeah, I'm not gonna air out dirty laundry behind the scenes, but there are some things that are there as well that will be very interesting. I don't know if it's a new banner too. I think she has all these flavors and you choose to be salty header header. I don't know if that's I think that's what the popsicle header is. It's one of the choose to be salty ones, but no, I don't know. I think Magic Eden is cool products. Like I said, I think it's a cool product. I guess I'm surprised by it. So I'm actually gonna follow that thread and see if there is additional stuff that comes onto it. But yeah, I will continue to talk about the products I like, honestly, and the products I don't like, honestly, and that goes across the board. KZ, do we have you back? Did we give you proper lap time?
I believe so.
Let's go. All right, jump in here.
Sorry. So I apologize. One thing that I think was a very valid point from yesterday that I heard, and I don't think it's emphasized enough, that actually goes very well with what you're talking about right now, is I'm going to use a name as an example. So Uncle Mac did some art for this James who's in question, and people started to FUD Uncle Mac because of it. And we need to remember, and we need to really keep this in our forefront, or we need to rethink our spaces, because artists are artists and project owners can be artists, but they're also project owners too. If you're running a project, it's expensive. And if you're an artist, you may have side jobs. And this is why I think it correlates to what you guys are talking about. You're running these spaces, you guys are as fair as you can be, but you got to make a profit too. So you got to sell ads. So that does not necessarily mean that you guys are swayed one way or another. You're selling ads, you're selling your art, and people need to do their own research about the issues going on, make their own decisions, get the right research. Because even I was wrong about which James it was yesterday, and I'll admit it, at one point. But when you find the right people, you find the right research, you got to be able to separate that. If Uncle Mac did some other art for somebody, he got paid to be an artist, whether it was before or after this incident happened. He's not condoning or saying that this guy is good or bad. He's an artist. He got paid, and we've got to be able to separate that.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. I think sometimes people miss on I think it's nuance that we sometimes don't discuss, because people just want to cast blame or have a conversation based on that, and just basically be like, all right, well, we've made a decision, let's close this thing down. And I think people do tend to do that. You made the point of us too. It's we actually have the distinct issue of there was someone who used to come to this space who I've muted and don't talk to anymore, generally speaking, because it's just not productive. I generally don't. When I find that conversations aren't productive, it's not meant to be an offensive power move. It's I will mute, unfollow, sometimes block people because I don't have that conversation anymore. And there was somebody who used to come to the space who it was always unproductive, and they would always insinuate that oh, well, you're getting paid, so obviously you got to keep those check deals coming in. It's if you're insinuating that I'm not doing my job, I did this job for 2 years plus with basically no sponsors. I think we had DraftKings and Mintify within our first 2.5 years or something. And so if you're insinuating that I'm going to change the way that I got here based on the fact that we have sponsors, you are sadly mistaken. The whole thing is based on honesty and credibility. And I consider my credibility, my honesty, and my integrity so much more important than my community so much more important than my wallet. So I think sometimes people sometimes people think oh my God, you got you know, you have a sponsor, therefore you're not credible. It's also weird people don't like people making money in this space outside of if you're like a shitty trader who's like trading meme coins or whatever, like and trading NFTs and flipping them. Not shitty, that sounds mean. If make money the way you want to. If you're a trader who's like making money like sort of mercenary money, everyone celebrates it. If you're a creator who gets a sponsor, people are like, why do you want to get paid for your work? If you're an artist who wants to get paid for why are you an artist? Why are you grifting? Why are you selling? It's like so weird how we have decisions about who's allowed to make money and not in this space. And it's like ass backwards. Like for example, like on a creator standpoint, a creator shows up every day for 2 hours for almost 5 years is like, you get paid and people are like, wait a minute, like what's that grifty mo? You're bringing in ads. And like a person who comes on and says, Project 2 says, send money to a contract. And people are like, yeah, let's get it, Formo Doodles founders. So like, I don't know. Like it's an interesting way how we judge people for making money in a certain way. Artists like being like, you're a grifter because you sold art. Like it's just, I don't know. It gets old. There's obviously layers and nuance to it, but it gets old. I could just see in Cap's eyes, he is just so he's like trying to take a mental walk right now from getting into an argument this morning. Is that what's happening here?
Not even an argument. Like I really don't care that much. I am more attempting to understand why. So I guess what I've taken out of this entire back and forth this morning is, as expected, Magic Eden continues to do well on ordinals, which we've been talking about is not having a moment. Solana NFTs, both of which are like, we got some more data. It's like the past 30 days, all they're dominated this volume, all ordinals, all majority Taproot Wizards and Quantum Cats. Okay, great. Now what? I'm not talking about the last year. I think that's also, it keeps getting inflated. Everyone's going, oh, look at the last year. I'm well aware of what transpired of last year. I'm well aware Magic Eden had a TGE, an airdrop, and drove a lot of activity. For at one point, they had captured most of the volume in NFT trading. And in the last month, it appears that they have lost a lot of that volume and they're clinging on to ordinals and Solana, which I'm genuinely like, what's next for those ecosystems? It doesn't seem like there's a lot coming. And I say all this with, they talking about that non-fungible intelligence, those agents, the 6079 stuff that's minting. That's minty. Sorry.
Did you just ring?
Yeah.
That's new. That's good.
Hold on.
That's fantastic. That's like the ring they add to like a movie when they're trying to show that something's ringing. It's someone's getting through do not disturb, a family member, a friend. Those are always the fun ones. My mom used to call when I would be on, like, she knows when my show is, and then my mom would call me and she would be like calling me to be like, yeah, I just wanted to know if you want to go out to dinner in 4 months. And I'd be like, well, that could probably wait till after the show. But yeah, no, I think it's funny. Like Cap and I are like different animals in this sense. My response to that tweet actually would be something like, if I had that discussion with Will this morning, I'd probably respond something like, not sure if this is about me, but I actually thought we had a really good discussion. Was certainly not trying to FUD, was trying to have a conversation about the, marketplace dynamics. It just felt like people weren't using it as much anymore. Certainly some data on there to show that people are using it, and, always open to, being educated on the multi-chain strategy. Because I think the other part is like, we were even glazing Magic Eden during, when we had Mintify on as a daily market update, because we liked the products they were building. We had Jack on. Cyber Jake, I see your hand is up. Jake, go ahead and get in here.
Yeah, I don't like to interrupt. I know you guys have a great show, but when I want to get my 2 cents in, I try and put my hand up. And I would just like to see more people in the market want to see other people win. It seems like a really backwards notion we were seeing in the market today.
PvP.
And, the old saying, people like to see you do well, but not better than them.
Banger. That's the banger. It's like people are like that. And by the way, that's exactly right. Toss the hand up, jump in when you need to. We love that. Yeah, like it is funny. Actually, I'll end on this, and this will be kind of an end rant on a Friday, and I'm not going to go super deep on it. But the people like to see you do well, but not better than them is something I have greatly experienced throughout my life, where I don't have a tremendous amount of personal self-esteem, self-confidence when it comes to work. I just work really hard, and I'm always confused that I sort of ascend and do well. Like led at, Fortune 500 multinational companies, like, speaking at Harvard, hosting the space and seeing its ascension, like different things that have gone really well, right? Writing a best-selling book, all these things. And I don't celebrate those victories because I don't feel them in my soul. But I've noticed that when I do well, there's a subset of people who all of a sudden come out of the woodwork when they want to sort of like say like, oh, like, how can I, like, there is somebody who like very specifically like wasn't congratulating me on my book or anything like that, which I don't expect anybody to do, but they did when it was a convenient time for them to potentially sell something. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then other people at the same time, I find, I'll be doing well in certain things that people were not as successful at or weren't able to get across the goal line. And suddenly they start like shit talking me. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I'm a nice guy and I've always been nice to you. And I thought we were cool. And then, so like, it is funny, that phrase. It's like, you'll see people who suddenly, and you'll see in that, like one of the people I talked about who I muted, you'll see him being like, well, if I had that platform, and it's like, but you don't. And like, everybody wants to have the 6-pack abs, but nobody wants to go on a fucking diet, right? Like everybody wants to, be like, oh yeah, I would host a space. I would do that every day. I would show up. Like, but would you show up for 871 straight episodes and show up for months when like 12 people are coming through and you're talking to nobody? Probably not. And so I think like your point there, like, it's like everybody, like, one, we should celebrate wins. I celebrate other people's wins with true compersion. I don't think anybody's success comes at my demise. I think their success, comes at the, sort of like their own hard work or their combination of luck, hard work, etc. But yeah, that phrase has resonated with me lately. But Cap, I know we're hitting the 10 o'clock hour. I am starving since this morning and haven't eaten. I don't get to eat in the morning anymore. I accidentally intermittent fast based on time, kids stuff in the morning, getting coffee for the family. Any other cleanup or things before we get out of here?
I saw we had a Wild Chespy request up. I'm guessing it's related to what we've been discussing, and I wanted to see, first of all, GM, always a pleasure. Appreciate you jumping up. And before we wind things down, I wanted to see if there's any part of that conversation you want to get in on.
Yo,
GM.
it was to me. It takes like 15 seconds.
Oh, sorry. I should know better. Yeah, I know you. I was just saying.
What's up, guys? Man, just woke up, man. Oh my god! After a while, sleeping. But today, my wife's day off, so I can stay a little bit later. 7 a.m. today. What's up, Captain? What's up, Steve? Man, how you guys doing, man? How's it been?
GM, things are great. Anything we invoked you this morning? Anything any of this conversation want to get in on?
No, what happened?
Oh, we were talking a little bit earlier about the FreshKix. I didn't know if there's anything you wanted to add on that, or if you're just coming up to say GM. No obligation. Not trying to put you on the spot. I was making an assumption.
Yo, I host spaces. I co-host spaces. I'm all everywhere. We have a responsibility when we have the microphone. That's something I always preach, right? If we have a microphone, we open spaces. We have a community that follows. I'm a founder too. I can speak from the founder perspective and also from the hosting spaces as well. I like to entertain people, but I always will speak, right? That when we have family getting affected, we're gonna point out the stuff that is not getting done the right way. It's unfortunate what happened to FreshKix. Their family, they're part of the club. They actually we were on a few spaces together. We were with Chinese, profits as well, and it's pretty unfortunate what happened. And I just want to say the FreshKix has the full support of all the family, all the club, the people that knows what they do. They have an amazing product. I told them. The product sells by themselves, and I think the entire I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think almost everybody that I know, it's fully supporting the FreshKix of what happened. And even if this would happen to someone that is not part of the club or outside the club, outside the family, it would be highlighted as well, because it would be highlighted, and it would get the support as well, because when something like that is happening, it's needed to talk, and I hope the parties that are involved, they start talking too, because it's just not looking good. But FreshKix, man, full support. And if you guys don't know who's FreshKix, man, they have for the new people, I don't know if you guys talk about it already, but they have an amazing product, IRL shoe that they customize for you with any NFT you decide to. And bro, like this guy's been on the space for a long time, And man, Captain, they have my fully support.
No, I appreciate the update. Appreciate you sharing and all that you do for the ecosystem. I was just saying, I don't know if you caught it earlier, but I was saying I think this is actually a positive thing that there was something that questionable at best, and the community came rallied around, came together and addressed it. And it seems like things have all but worked themselves out in probably the most fair way, at least that's my interpretation from what I know. And I think these can be kind of galvanizing moments for communities. And I said it earlier, but I think the community is ApeChain's secret sauce. That's their superpower. And if this sort of questionable activity doesn't get called out, doesn't get addressed, things can go, it can go the wrong way very quickly. So appreciate all you're doing.
And we also got the reaction of Garga. Like even Garga is grossed out of what happened, right? And when something like that happens, it needs to be pointed out right away. And we try our best. There are a few spaces we're open, and hopefully we can all. It's not like we can turn the page and continue. But what I'm trying to say is there was a few spaces open, by Rita. You guys know, everybody knows who's Rita, right? And yeah, man, Daddy Meffer. Anyways, he's not here, so I like to talk shit when he's not here. But anyways, Rita, he's been helping out a lot of people, and he opened a space so we can kind of ceasefire what was happening. Everybody can speak their piece, and continue, right, with what happened. But hopefully somehow we're able to do something and address the stuff that happened and share the awareness and continue building, right? Because I think your actions speaks more than your words sometimes.
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Cool. No, Cap, I mean, well said. And yeah, I think a good summary. I know we hit on that a little bit earlier today. Good to see the ApeChain community rallying around it, including Garga himself getting around it. But a lot of people you see in those sort of replies there. But Cap, what did we miss? Any other cleanup we missed today? We made it 2 hours of a very slow news day outside of the fact that, the tariffs, but didn't do a whole lot for us.
I think that was it. That's the only thing I have left in my notes here was regarding you invoked tariffs again. So I think after great review and a lot of research, I'm pretty sure that the administration just used a LLM to spit out that tariff spreadsheet.
Oh, you saw that? Yeah, I saw those tweets yesterday. I didn't even bring it up.
Just spit it out. And that's why we ended up with putting tariffs on small islands that only are inhabited by penguins. But yeah, welcome to the age of AI, when world-changing decisions can get made based purely what the AI says we should do.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, I don't like vibe governing. I'm not a huge fan of that. So I think for people who don't know, by the way, vibe coding is basically like people who don't code but can use AI to code. It's actually catching on, which makes a lot of sense, right? Like, it's not still going to replace a normal coder, but vibe coding is a very popular thing. Vibe art is another thing that people talk about. This is vibe governing, where they're using AI, because I did see that where people put in the parameters of what we should be doing tariff-wise, and it spit out pretty much the exact numbers that were used in two separate LLMs, which people are like, okay, interesting. So I wonder if China is
also the one I saw was it wasn't even, it had something to do with the web domains. Like it's just like I should see if I should have bookmarked it so I could pull it up and speak more intelligently. But basically, some pretty smart people connected some dots, and it made it like, I don't know. See, based on if taking what they said at face value, like 97% sure they had an LLM spit out that spreadsheet.
And maybe China's reciprocal. They were like, hey, if they do this, what do we do? You know what this is akin to? World leaders just like us. This is like when we came into the tariff discussion, I was like, not us personally, like when we were in the war room initially, I actually made the comment. I'm like, I don't want to get into a ChatGPT off. I am simply sharing what I
We
see.
had
From
there was a ChatGPT off yesterday in the war room. I didn't enter it, but I was definitely every time I walked in, there was like a couple paragraph long, very, very well high vocabulary ChatGPT debate
with a lot of M dashes, a lot of exclamation points and emojis. What was nice is though everyone was like the cool part about like the war room, which I love with the intellectual honesty, is that people generally reply and they're like, I'm getting this from ChatGPT. And then they'll say, like Von Frutten's like, I asked ChatGPT for like economists who are in support of the tariffs and why, and shared that, and that was really helpful. Like that's the type of thing where it's like, if you're admitting it, if you're saying it, being like, hey, look, I'm not an expert here. Here's what I found. Tell me why this is wrong. I think that is an intellectually honest way to approach things as a new person and information. But yeah, I was going to say, like, I feel like a lot of arguments turn to ChatGPT offs for people, and I try not to play that game. And in fact, I literally block, mute, and unfollow people who do that to me at times in various, not all of the above at times, depending on how it goes. It just doesn't do a whole lot for me because I'm like, if I want to argue with ChatGPT, I'll go do it. I want a human who thinks beyond that because I still think we have the capability. And, if the governments are vibe governing and having a ChatGPT off, that would be epic. But Jake, I saw your hand fly up. Get in here real quick, then we're going to close it down.
Yeah, so I like talking about this vibe governance because I think it's well more established in our global forefront than most people understand. Like, I think people have been doing this for way longer than we've been talking about it, since before GPT, since before all of these open LLMs that people are using on a day-to-day basis. I think it's kind of startling to see on like a high level how like how little thought goes into some of the things that are governing us in our homeland.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying I used GPT a little bit on The More You Know this morning because like Kat brought something up. I thought it'll be fun to see if there was an instance where Bitcoin really decoupled from the markets. Pulled that out. I mean, like I said, just incredible seeing the government being like, oh, is that meeting today? Shit, GPT up the tariff, so we haven't done what we needed to do. Shit, that's in an hour. ChatGPT. It's like when Cap and I were on a call with somebody at one point who was giving us some parameters for like a sponsorship, and I managed to spin it up really quickly because I used GPT to help me use a framework I've used before. We already knew what they were looking for. It didn't come up with the ideas for me, but it helped me organize them, and it was like a way to within a short period of time have an impressive sort of proposal back to somebody. A little bit different than governing. So anyway, that said, Cap,
Steve, don't look now. Don't look now. This is probably going to jinx it. This is kind of like talking about a no-hitter in the middle of a no-hitter or sitting next to the pitcher while he's got a no-hitter going. But we did it once again. We've given the Taproot Wizards the coffee with Captain Pump this morning. Are you seeing this? Floor ripped up to 0.167. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 sales in the last half hour, Steve.
Magic Eden is back.
We brought it back.
Yeah.
Next time, be thankful that unpaid KOLs are bringing up data regarding your platform. It drives attention and volume.
Yeah. Wow. That is a ripper. The burgers woke up and bought a bunch of Taproot Wizards apparently.
And it looks like just scanning through, it looks like all different addresses too. So what's happening? That doesn't make any sense. Why this isn't a sweep? It's all these different unique sales. What's going on?
Maybe I don't know. Like I don't want to go super deep into it. It's just I wonder. Like we kind of said. I mean, you had this tweet afterwards. Like, were they appropriately priced? They stayed at 0.2. They went up a little. They went down a little for a few days until the markets hit the shitter, which they did for a period of time with tariffs coming up and people worried about rate cuts and everything. Like Taproot Wizards kind of were holding steady at mint price. Maybe people just think that's where they're valued. Like maybe people just look at it and say, okay, I'm buying this now because I think I'm going to be able to sell it at 0.22 in a month. And and we talked about the variability in decibels in Bitcoin are much, much different. I'm down 0.1 on an on-chain hero on abstract. That's $160 right now. Like we're $180. I'm not down quite 0.1, but I think I'm down like $160. That sucks, but that's like dinner out with my family of 4 in Ohio, right? Like that's not horrible. Versus like, you know, if you go down or up in Bitcoin those that much, we talked about it, like 0.05 Bitcoin. I mean, it's $4,000 or $5,000. So, so yeah, so I think if someone's like, hey, I can make 10 grand on this thing in potentially a month, why not? Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but we'll see. Shout out Taproot Wizards. So I like Taproot Wizards. I really do. Like I am a fan of not just the team, but I think the art's fun. I think the community's fun. I think the vibe is fun. That's why I think they have a good thing going for them. Like I know who they are, and I think that's positive.
I'm just going to show one more chart. I might not even comment on it.
Well, we have space listeners. You have to comment on it.
This is the last month of trading revenue by chain. So the story, it all came very clear to me. Like Magic Eden is like an Ordinals marketplace. Yes, an Ordinals and Solana. You know, they generated 50, 60 grand off of ETH sales. Their business is being like their money is coming in from Ordinals. I wonder how much of this 800,000 in revenue was due to Quantum Cats and Taproot Wizards. That was just a massive volume over the past month. So not looking at the last year, I'm wondering what like next month looks like after that mint in secondary trading goes away. Still crushing it on Solana, you know, nearly 500 grand in royalties on Solana. So people are out there buying them. This one is a little shocking to me that they're basically capturing almost all the ApeChain volume. So people are paying like, again, I'm not like taking shots. I'm asking a genuine question. Why is someone paying 2% on to buy ApeChain NFTs on Magic Eden instead of paying 0.5% and getting airdrop points on OpenSea?
Because they captured the flag early. People associate Magic Eden with ApeChain. That's it.
Wild. So I mean, congratulations to them on the partnership then, because it's working. Because like these, it's wild to me. Because they're dominating that volume. Like it's a very, you know, 45 grand they made off ApeChain royalties. OpenSea made 2,600. Mintify made 260, and that's it. Everyone is paying more, giving up your ApeChain gains by paying that extra fee, and I guess more power to them. If they can charge the premium because they captured the flag early, there's the answer. That's why they're charging 2% is because they can. People are not, they just don't care.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, it's a culture thing, and it's got again, like, just so this isn't perceived wrong, and maybe it was. When I say that Magic Eden has a cult following, that is the biggest compliment you can give. It is a marketplace. It is like Apple creates electronic devices and has a cult following. Granted, those tie into your lives and they do a lifestyle device, but like anytime that a brand has like extreme high, highest brand affinity, like it's like, I understand like Starbucks, they make your coffee, right? Like that's good. Customer loyalty ranking, right? Like that makes sense. A marketplace having that customer loyalty without like a great program, right? Like I'm loyal to Delta to the extent until like, freaking United comes along and says, we offer a better experience and we're going to make everything even better, right? It's like, Amazon having loyalty, well, they're the only act in town. Netflix having loyalty, sure, you watch. Like Nike, yeah, the shoe, but like anything has long brand loyalty. An NFT marketplace having brand loyalty is incredible, and that's what I think they've done a good job of. That's why I think their marketing is strong, and they do a good job with their team. It's that, I don't know. I think they do a tremendous job bringing in loyalty, doing partnerships, doing marketing. They're quick on the market. They do funny cute things with Emmy. I mean, when we were on Other Side, by the way, and I was running around Other Side, guess what? I ran into Emmy with a pile of Magic Eden tokens, their mascot. Like, they do little marketing things. They didn't make a big deal about it. They didn't show it all over the place. I found it on my own. It was cool. So I think that there is a degree that they've done that. And to your point about the ApeChain stuff, they captured the flag early, and people have to have a reason not to. And then people, like I used to have this conversation in insurance. Stasis is what the sort of like de facto mode insurance is. Most people listening to this probably have had the same car and home insurance for years and just continue to pay it. Yet, if you do go through the pain in the ass process of shopping around every single year, you usually can get a little bit less money. Why don't we do it? Pain in the ass. It's easy. We don't have to think about it. We know the process. We understand how to do it. I think it's very similar with I think it's very similar with ApeChain on Magic Eden. People learn the process. They know the platform. It's well done. You can do multiple swaps. Like, it's a good UI. It's a good UX. They've done marketing. They've got cool KOLs who talk about them. That's another thing that's actually funny. Magic Eden talking about KOLs. They love the KOLs, which is good. Like, they do a good job with it. It's marketing. So I don't know. Like, that's my take on ApeChain being on there and getting used a lot. And it's a marketplace of choice for companies for a reason. But anyway, that said, Cap, let's let everyone get off into their weekend.
Well, good news, breaking news. This is Vervon Front and everyone looking to bring in textiles and garments. Game back on in Cambodia. Cambodia just cut their tariffs on U.S. imports to 5%, down from 35%. So for everyone needing a new place to manufacture textiles, Cambodia is now your destination location, it appears.
Yeah, there you go. Cambodia, let's get it done. Love to see good Cambodia, and that whatever that island is that only has penguins, though, has not issued retaliatory tariffs, meaning that, maybe they want to play ball.
Yeah, penguins don't negotiate.
Good job by the Pudgy Penguins, by the way, jumping on that. They had some funny memes along that side yesterday. They saw the penguin stuff. Again, like we maybe flew over that, but if people missed it with the ChatGPT conversation we had earlier, one of the tariffed countries is an island with 0 humans and only penguins. So the penguins have to pay extensive tariffs. So a lot of good memes yesterday. If you missed those memes and you want something to laugh about, go look those up. That said, let's send everybody off into their day. Appreciate everyone coming through this morning. A good conversation across the board for a Friday. Some video game stuff discussed. Yeah, there we go. Like the penguin one. Like, have you apologized once? There is one that I saw where it's like the penguin had like a sword and was like running towards the camera. The Pudgy Penguins had some good ones. So there's some really good penguin memes out there if you want to laugh today.
What do we do before the internet? Like, what do we do before this app? Seriously, I don't know where I got my entertainment before this app.
Man, if
I also did you see the suit guy that's on X, like the men's fashion guy? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
I think his name's Derek. He's fighting with. He's like actually going to fight. I don't know. You won't get it if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about. But yeah,
Are you winning, son? I think we're in a war with the United States, and it's just a Pudgy Penguins watching Trump's tariff thing. Like, it's good. It's good.
It is good. Yeah, it's just like this is back to my whole take on all this yesterday is I'm going to just embrace the volatility of all this and find humor in most of it that I can find possible. So stay safe out there. It's going to be an interesting weekend. Knock on wood, hopefully Bitcoin, ETH, and the majors hold throughout the weekend. I don't know. Like I'm very cautiously optimistic, but man, would it be pretty sweet if we wake up Monday morning and not that I want TradFi and stocks to continue to bleed, but if we see another down day today and crypto holds or is even up, might be maybe this is premature, but man, would be a heck of a signal. And I think some, we've talked so often about the tailwinds behind us now instead of headwinds. If we see a lot of capital that's sidelined or looking for, could you imagine if crypto becomes the actual safe place to fleet in times of uncertainty?
It would be awesome. And but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's funny times of uncertainty. Those weak lettuce hand stock market people who are upset about a 3% drop. Like, call me when you're a person who minted a Taproot Wizard and you're down like $14,000 in less than a week. Then you got those. Then you can start to complain about markets. But the 3% being down, who cares? Chess BSE, threw your hand up, get in here real quick, and then we gotta jump.
Bro, I forgot. Bro, why you guys not speaking about? Is it April 15th, Captain Zwingli?
April 17th. ApeCon, is that what you're talking about?
Bro, I'm practicing with my mirror every freaking morning.
Not surprised.
I hope I make it.
Not surprised. No, congratulations. Appreciate you applying. We're going to get that list. Maybe this, if not this weekend, next week, we'll let everyone know. And there has been some people that applied. If you applied and you want to participate, you're in. We got to get through kind of building all the teams for the individuals that apply. We had a lot of individuals apply, more than expected. About the amount of teams we anticipated, but yeah, we got a lot of individuals we need to place together. And our goal is we're not gonna bounce anyone. So we did close it last night. So it is the no more new applicants, but yeah, everyone who wanted to participate in the startup pitch competition at ApeCon here on it's Thursday, April 17th. So a little less than 2 weeks out. Really excited about that. And I see Quid out there in the audience. I've got a DM to you today. No pressure obligation, but there's a one of the sessions I'd love for you to speak on if you're open, whether individual or on a panel. And then we're also, if anyone's interested in judging that startup competition, we have a few judge spots left as well. We're going to be reaching out, but feel free to reach out proactively if it's something that you would be excited or interested in doing. But Steve, I think that's all we've got for today. I'm gonna get back to the MLB Battle Royale trenches here and have make it 3 days in a row. But we also looking forward to our chat, and then I think we maybe have another meeting that just got thrown in, at least a placeholder.
Yep. Yeah. Right on. No, Cap. Good conversation. The MLB trench fighting as well as the KOL trench fighting. That is Captain Zwingli today. We will talk to everybody. Thanks everyone who came through this weekend every day. We're going to work on getting some new guests on the book. I think I already have us a Friday guest, potentially maybe talk a little DreamNet. So we'll see next week, but we'll work on getting that lined up. I've been liking the guests we've been running the past few weeks.
You bring it on Evan and Poopy to talk DreamNet or?
yeah. With their DreamNet. But we'll see what happens. But thanks everyone who came through this morning. We will talk to everybody bright and early on Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.